check. Uh-oh. Are we live? Are we live? I get my glasses on, y'all. Check, check. Hey, yo, what is up, everybody? What's going on? It's your girl, Jay. It is Tuesday night, and we are live here. Welcome to the show, JSpot Live. I'm your girl, Jay. As I just said, this is my channel, JSpotNetwork, and we are talking WNBA. We have reached the end of the season. We have a winner of this season, the 2025 champs, right here. Ignore it. Well, you can't even see that it says 2003, but we have a champion, WNBA champion, Las Vegas Aces. I'm wearing my celebratory hat here. Let me straighten it up there. It calls for sparkles tonight. So those of you that may have been watching me when we won the 2023 championship, you know I had on my sparkle hat because I was celebrating. And so we're here to celebrate again. We have won the championship. People said we weren't going to do it, but we did it. Round of applause for my Las Vegas Aces. Woo! All right. Let's see. Oh, I turned that up way too loud. Check, check, check. Let's see who is in the house. We have Moses. Moses, what's been going on? Long time no see. Moses is in the house. Tulip is here. Hey, Tulip. Hey, chat, like as you enter. That's right. Listen to what she says. Groovy is here. Hey, Groovy, what's going on? Waterfalls is here. What's up, Jay? What's going on, Waterfalls? Zah is here. J Squad, what's up, y'all? What's going on, Zah? Tulip says, congrats to the Aces. Thank you. Congrats to my Aces. Super happy about their win. What more can I say? People doubted us. People said it, told me specifically, give up on my team. They're washed. They're not going to make it. Chelsea ain't doing nothing. Jewel is a bust. Nalissa's helping out, but it's not enough. Asia can't do everything. We don't know what's going on with Jack. They can't figure it out. And they went on that 17 game run, 16 straight to end the season. And then they went into the playoffs winning that first game. So they had a record of 17 in a row. And, it was a battle. I'm not going to act like it was easy. I'm not going to act like we didn't, I don't want to say have our struggles, but, there were some close games. The games could have went either way. Seattle did give us a run for our money. It was very tight. That was the game, best of three. And then we had Indiana, who was the best of five, who also, it came down to the last game, came out to game 5. That one was also a close one. But, it just proves that we were battle tested and you just can't get rid of us. Like, you can't, as much as you try, you could throw the book at us. The Aces proved that they can, fight through whatever they needed to fight through to get the win. Because at the end of the day, what matters is that they won, right? It don't matter if they won by 1 point or 50 points. Winning, you win or you lose. And so they won. Not without, some definitely some challenges, but they won. And then they get to the finals and where I thought they might have some trouble, they didn't. Now, those games also came down to be very close. Game 4, the first game, those games were really close. But again, you can win by 1, you can win by 50. You know what I'm saying? The win is the win. And we won those games. I didn't think it would be a sweep. I didn't think so. I thought I was going to say Seattle. I thought Phoenix would give us a run for our money. I thought they, would really bring it to us, but it was close but no cigar, and we ended up sweeping that thing. And the big thing of how is the W going to handle a 7-game series? We won't know. We won't know until the next time it happens, because we didn't even take it to game 5. We finished it in 4 games, just like we did, or just like they did when they won the 2023 series. They won game 4, and if I'm not mistaken, 2022 they also won in game 4. So it is what it is. We'll find out how a 7-game series might work out next season, if there is a season. But let me see what y'all been saying real quick. Moses says, congrats to the Aces. Just found out yesterday that they won the championship and Kathy got booed. Beautiful karma. Yeah, Kathy got booed. That was the highlight. No, I wouldn't say that's the highlight, because the highlight is my team winning. But if I can find that clip without getting in trouble, I probably can't. I'm going to have to find it on Twitter or something like that. But yeah, Asia, or when they called her up to announce the championship award and then the MVP, Kathy got all of those boos. So it was pretty funny to me, actually. And how did you just find out yesterday? Where you been at, Moses? What's been going on? Zah says, hate the fortune that befell on my links. And then Fever was tough as hell. I think that's what that means, right? Yeah, Fever gave us a real battle. I think because of the matchup, some more even, I talked about this before. I feel like Aaliyah. What is that? Offstage sound effect only you. Huh. Wait a minute. Check. Sorry, y'all. I don't know. There's some kind of option on the bottom. I'm trying to see what that meant. But anyway, I felt that Aaliyah Boston really matches up well with Asia. It kind of gives her a time. They give each other a time, and they kind of cancel each other out. So then it's the other people and how they're going to match up. And Kelsey Mitchell is just a bad girl. Like she's tough. Odyssey Sims is hungry. You know what I'm saying? She deserves to be on a permanent team. She did a lot for Indiana during that series. Even if Kelsey Mitchell was struggling a little bit, the little that she did struggle, you had Odyssey Sims right there helping out as well. Lexi was shooting threes like it was her part-time job. So they had people that, were really, really good challengers for us. Especially if you take Asia out of the equation. Not that she wasn't scoring, but I mean, if you got Asia and Aaliyah doing their thing over there, like what is everybody else doing? So it was a really good challenge. I'm happy, very happy that we won that, of course, because first of all, I did not want to play Indiana for obvious reasons, but I wanted us to go to the finals. I'm going to just leave it at that. Waterfall says, congratulations to the Aces. Eagles Brothers, what's going on? Eagles Brothers says, hello. Even though the Aces are my team's rival, I can pause my competitive mindset and congratulate your squad on winning the championship. Just tell your fan base to leave me alone about Jewel. Yeah, man. I mean, the fan base, I can't control the fan base. It's some people out there wilding out. It's a whole lot of stuff going on the timeline that I have just kind of disconnected from because I don't really want to be involved in that. But yeah, as much as I can, I'll tell the fan base, leave y'all alone. I thought Jewel did great for us, especially in the finals. I felt like she wasn't as effective in the Indiana series. I think she woke up in the Seattle series, obviously. But I think there were some games there in the finals that Jewel really, really, helped us out. And that's exactly what we needed her for. Tulip says, I doubted them myself. Not going to lie, they turned it around. Happy for them. Zah says, what if AR joins the Aces? I mean, that'd be amazing. I don't see that happening. we need to. You got to look at fit. You know, you already have Asia, you have Nalissa Smith, and not to say that Angel couldn't get a spot in there, but I think what they have works. And you know, I kind of like Nalissa on that team just because I think she can come in and not necessarily take away from Asia, but she can help. She can help Asia in ways where maybe not scoring, but just be another person out there that could be somewhat of a threat that you know you're going to have to guard. Because if you leave her open, she will look to score. She can score. She's a good rebounder. So yeah, everybody wants or probably needs an Angel on their team because Angel brings so much. But I think on that dynamic of the team, I don't know if Angel would be a good fit on the Aces with what they have right now. Can they be successful with her? Yes. But I look at Angel as a leader, as somebody who would eventually completely carry a team, not carry it like nobody else is contributing, but like that's her team. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Angel can be the face of a team. And so if she goes to play with Asia, there's, you know, Asia, that's Asia's team. Like people can come and help, but we know that's Asia's team. So I don't like it for that reason. I want Angel to get to a team where she can contribute, and then, you know, we know that's her team and she can, you know, take them to glory, just like, you know, some of the other top players, franchise players around there. I got a headache now for some reason. It's probably just light. Waterfall says time for WNBA fans to give Becky her flowers. Yeah, I don't know why people were kind of coming at Becky saying that she didn't know what she was doing. I mean, if we look at the bigger picture here, I mean, I think they said Becky has the best winning percentage in her 4 years. She's only been coaching in the league for 4 years. She's won 3 championships out of those 4 years. She's only lost, what did they say, one series. She's only lost 1 series in her whole playoff career, 4 years. 4 years, 3 championships, only lost 1 series. So her accomplishments are great. They are up there with some of the best coaches, even in this small amount of time that she's been coaching. But you also got to look at where she came from. You got Greg Popovich, who is her mentor, who she worked for several years, and you know, someone who also brought championships to his team with the Spurs, and played with, and I mean, coached with some of the best, some of the best players in the NBA. So I mean, I think she's learned a lot. I think she still, you know, may get advice from him, or you know, may reach out, or, you know, so I never doubted Becky. I never thought she didn't know what she was doing. You know, Becky is very much like, I'm not going to want it more than you want it. Like, I'm going to give you the instructions and you got to do what you can with that. Like, if you don't want to hustle, I can't teach hustle. If you don't want to have the drive, I can't teach drive. If you don't want to have, like, if you don't have that in you, I can't teach you that. I can teach you the X's and the O's. I can teach you that. If you don't have it in you, the fight and the will to want to win, that's not something that she says that she doesn't want to coach it, and she's not going to coach that. Like, you have to have that within yourself. So I think a lot of things kind of got lost with the Aces earlier in the season, and it took a lot of soul searching for them to get it together. But I think Becky was on the right track the whole time. It's just, you know, you can lead, what they say, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. And so I know from, you know, managing people or leading people or whatever, like, you can give them all the instructions, you can try to coach them in the right direction, but unless they want to do it, it's very hard to do. And that doesn't make you less of a leader because some people are stumbling. It makes you a good leader if you continue to work with them, or you realize that that's not it. You need to go get somebody else. So I never doubted Becky. DJ Bosco, what's going on? Aces win chips on the road. I didn't expect a sweep, but it was sweet. Yep. DJ says Kathy didn't say much or else boos would be louder. Yeah, she heard, like when she realized those boos weren't going to stop, she made it real quick. She was like, and the winner is Asia. Here, take it. And she tried to give Asia that little side hug. That was hilarious. That was really funny. Groovy says, what about Portland Fire hired another G League male coach? I saw that. I'm not going to jump around too much. We're going to get into some of the other teams. I want to stick to this part right now. But yes, I did see that. We turned a real white male in the WNBA. I don't like it. I don't like it. We're a women's league, and now we're getting outnumbered by male coaches. That, I mean, I don't know. It's just we got some good. I think we have good candidates out there. Good candidates that are women out there that for whatever reason teams don't want to give a chance to. Is crazy to me. But they let these men come in and sometimes they are very mediocre, but that's okay because that's what they allow. So I don't know. Sorry. Zod says Portland don't need a team. Jay, I'm on vacation in your neck of the woods coming from the Midi. I'm enjoying this weather. I'm also on vacation. I'm on a tiny little vacation from work this week. I hope you're enjoying it. My allergies are killing me. That's why I'm stuffy and coughing and stuff like that. But I hope you enjoy your time out here, wherever you are. DJ says Portland looters don't need a team. Texas needs one by Austin or Cedar Park. Yes. At least Houston. If we can't get one in Austin, give us one in Houston. Ghost is in the house. Man, I can smell them scrungy dogs from California. I'm not reading no more of your comments. Waterfall says Angel heading to Dallas. I mean, that is the rumor. I don't know how true that is. We don't know anything for sure. There's a whole CBA we got to worry about first. There's expansion drafts that need to happen. So I don't see any deals taking place before all that stuff is sorted out. Becky's coaching in the semifinals was suspect. She went away from Asia in the fourth quarter. If Fever had been healthy, might not have gone Ace's way. Maybe not. We'll never know, will we? Waterfalls says exactly. Moses says, I passed on this past WNBA season and muted the whole WNBA name, Caitlin's name, and the whole WNBA hashtag. Jay, I had no clue about the season until a couple of days ago. Well, you did really well muting the season. But, Caitlin was out for most of the season this season with an injury. So, for me, I found it, although those fans were still out there causing havoc, it wasn't as bad. And I have a lot of that side muted anyway. So I was able to have a better WNBA experience this season than I did last season. There was still some unnecessary discourse out there, but I think that happens anytime there's a sport happening, especially now where it's always got to be a stand fight. It's always got to be a fight between fan bases. It just does not make sense to me. Like, as much as I've been following women's basketball, it just, the fans, some of the fans make it just a horrible experience because it's always got to be a fight. Oh, this person didn't shake somebody's hand. Oh, this person didn't look in her direction. Oh, this person didn't put her in her photo dump. Oh, this person didn't like this. Oh, it's like, it's basketball, y'all. Like, this is not a soap opera. Like, I don't, it's too much. And for me, especially, like, I did not like, the Angel fans and the Camilla fans going at each other still because of South Carolina, LSU. That was getting on my nerves because I love both of them, as y'all know. And then the whole Angel and Asia thing, that was a thing that was also getting on my nerves because y'all know I love me some Asia Wilson as well as Angel. So it's just like, I know everybody's not going to get along, but it was just a lot of just unnecessary discourse on my side of the thing. And I'm not even thinking about like the Fever fans or anything like that, because I have all that muted. But just in my own realm, it was just a bunch of nonsense happening. So, but outside of all that, I still had a better experience this season than last season. Zah says, I don't want her in Golden State unless they change their uniform design. Them look like practice jerseys. Who you talking about? Ghost says, I think Brent January may get a shot at head coach. That'd be cool. Yeah, you keep laughing over there, Ghost. Zah says, yeah, I'm out here in Houston visiting my sister. Okay, I hope you enjoy yourself in Houston. Eagles Brother says, do you think the Aces are the second best dynasty behind Houston? No, I don't. I think they can get there. I still give it to Minnesota. Minnesota won 4 championships. Now, it did take them, 7 years to do it, but they won one, then they lost, then they won, then they lost, then they won, then they lost, then they won. Like, they won every other freaking year, which is crazy. Like, they were not going away. So they have 4 championships. They were dominant for those 7 years, or 8. I think it was 7 years. So, I don't think their Aces are there yet. They did win 3 championships in 4 years. So that is a little bit better than winning 4 championships in 7 years. But I think if they win this 4th championship within the next couple of years, then yes, they take over being dominant. And then if they win 5 championships, then they are the most dominant. They will be the most dominant dynasty in the WNBA, in my opinion. DJ says former top tier WNBA players should coach WNBA teams. Win Cash, Bird, Leslie, Cooper, Thompson. Yeah, I think they should be given a chance, honestly. More so, like, I feel like they give these guys a chance with no experience in coaching women, no experience in that, some of them. And then they just turn their nose up at women. We are in a women's league. Like, if women can't get a fair chance in a women's league, what the hell? Like, where else can we get a fair chance? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a much deeper conversation, but it kind of irks me. Zah says, y'all taking the over or under on Indiana getting another 40 televised game next season? Well, if we have a season, I think more than anything, this year proved to a lot of networks that show W games that people are interested in watching more than Indiana. With attendance being up, with viewership being up, out, even without who they felt like Caitlin was going to draw all these people, and she does draw people, but she only played 13 games. And so that side said that viewership was going to fall. They weren't going to get the ratings. Nobody's going to watch, blah, 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 just to get the numbers back and say that this is the highest watched finals since 2009 or something, or this was the highest watched playoff since whenever. Viewership up across all the teams higher than X amount percent. So I think the networks are seeing that, like, okay, they aren't just watching just because of Caitlin. Like, these fans actually want to watch WNBA basketball, and they want to see their teams, and it's not just Indiana. So hopefully they see that, and they would, spread out the amount of games a little bit more evenly, or like they used to do, like the championship team is the team that gets the most TV time. Ever since Caitlin got there, New York, who had won? New York had won? No. The Aces had one, and then, Caitlin comes in, they get all these TV deals, and Aces don't get that much. I think it was like 20 something games belong to Indiana, and I think it was like 18 or something to the Aces, and then New York wins, and then now it comes back. The Indiana gets 40 games on TV out of the 44, and I think New York I don't think they got close to 40. I think it was like not even. I don't even know what their number was. It was nowhere near 40. So I don't know what's going to happen this next season with that, but I think hopefully it'll be more spread out. I know USA is going to be showing W games this next season. I think they bought 50. They're going to show 50 games whenever the season is. And then, of course, you have Ion, you got the ESPNs, you got the ABCs, and Amazon. So hopefully we'll see more diversity as it relates to our games. Zah says, I'm sorry to be that guy, but Ace is not a dynasty, not even the Lynx in my definition. Only dynasty is the Comets. Well, that's your opinion, but I'm sticking by my opinion. I do think that the Lynx were a dynasty after what the Comets did. Winning 4 championships is something like I think should be considered as a dynasty. They, like I said, they had a 7-year run where it was off and on for them. Now they didn't do it straight, and I don't know if there's any team that would be that. I'm not going to say I don't think there's any team. We haven't seen a team yet that can do what the Comets have done, but I do think the number of championships that we get, I think that will help determine who is the dynasty. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the Comets do deserve, like, no matter what, the Comets do deserve their place in history, and that is what it is. Ghost says Zah needs to apologize for his attack on the violet and black. Tulip says, Jay, have you seen the AP women's college basketball rankings? I have not seen that yet. No. But I'll look that up. I'll be covering college as well. Of course, y'all know my teams, South Carolina, LSU, Notre Dame, and then whoever else I catch. But I haven't seen the rankings yet. I saw Nalissa celebrating her championship win on the court with Dejanay and it brought a smile to my face. How big of an impact did Nalissa have on the Aces championship run, Jay? I think she had a big impact, just her presence. I think having, I don't want to say a security blanket, but I felt like things fell into place when it wasn't all on Asia's shoulder. Like, yeah, she's the MVP. Yeah, she can carry a team, but one person cannot win the games. And she might be able to win a few games, but she can't win 20 games by herself. It's a team sport, right? And that's why whenever they talk to Asia, she always talks about her teammates. Because she knows, like, it's not just one person. Like, yeah, it may be her name being said, but it's a collective that helps them get their success. And I think once they had that full team to where Asia can play more freely, it opened up so much more. Like, I'm not saying it was too much pressure on her, but even if you're a team that is doing your scouting report, you know who to concentrate on because the guards weren't playing well. Kia was no offensive threat. They didn't really have a bench. So it was like, take out Asia and then we can win the game. That's all you have to do. Like, if you can contain her, the guards and everybody are not doing anything right now. So that's all we have to do. And so when you get an Alyssa Smith who all she needed was a chance, an opportunity to build her confidence back up, she became someone, like I said, who can be an offensive threat. Like, you knew she was going to look for her shot. If you can't leave Nalissa open like you can leave Kia Stokes. And this is no shade to Kia. This is the facts. They park Kia over in the corner and then it's 5-on-4 basketball. That's just how the offense was going. She's really good at defense, but she is not looking to take a shot. she only takes a shot if the ball comes to her and she just can't pass it out. She's not an offensive threat, but you can't do that to NaLyssa. So having somebody else down there on the post, in the post area, who can rebound, who can help defend. Now, she fouls too much, but who can help defend, who can help draw some of the attention away from it just, zoning in on Asia. She's able to play more free. She's more relaxed. And now the game is coming to her a little bit better. When the game is coming to her a little bit better, when you have some other options, now the guards are starting to play a little bit more free. Their shots are going down. You got Jewel coming off the bench who has an opportunity to kind of survey the game and see what's going on and see where she's needed. You have Dana coming off the bench who's able to come in and give you some things there. So it became a little bit, it was more fun, I guess, for them. It opened up a lot. So yes, answer your question. I do think NaLyssa had a big impact just because that's another player that can play. Simple as that. Like, that's another player that all you need to do is boost her confidence. And like she said, playing on that team and being with Asia helped her love basketball again. And you can tell when someone is playing with joy. You can tell when they're playing with teammates and on a team that is pouring into them, because they're pouring. You can see that outpouring on the floor. You can see that she wants to play hard for Asia. She wants to play hard for her teammates. She wants to play hard for Becky. So she's putting in the maximum effort on the floor, which is paying off in little ways. So yeah, I do think she was a big impact. You said how much? I think a pretty big impact, even if it was not by scoring. Ghost says, watch the W bring back Bill Laimbeer. They might. Bill wasn't horrible, right? Bill set up the Aces to be the team that Becky eventually took to the championship, but I think Bill might be. Now, Bill wanted them to fight. He still got that bad boy in him, but hey. But I want some women. We need some women. DJ says Cooper and Thompson coaches college teams. What else were you trying to say? They need to go pro. Well, Cynthia coached at my alma mater, Prairie View A&M University. I think it was maybe 4 years ago now. But she was the women's head coach there. I've seen Tina Thompson coaching. I know Delisha Milton from the Sparks. She was also coaching. So it would be cool to see them coach pro. That'll be dope. Eagles brother says, plus this finals drew 1.5 million views within the 4 games. We ain't listening to that fan base that came in to divide and conquer us, other fan bases to kiss the ring. But we instead became united. And that's what it's all about. Yeah. So I'm happy that we got those results. So now maybe, the networks and the big wigs can see hey, if we feature these other teams, we're going to get we're going to start to get a draw as well. Also, like Cam Brink said years ago, grass grows where it's watered. If you continue to push these other teams and put them in a shade and, they're never going and you only put the spotlight on one team, then yeah, of course that team is going to bring the draw because that's the only thing that's available. When you put that team on a major network like ABC that is available to many people, but then you put other teams on Ion that people don't have those channels, you can't really compare the viewership and say, well, this team is the better team because they brought all these viewers and this team didn't, because how many people know what Ion is? I didn't know what Ion was at first. I never heard of that channel. But I know what ABC is. I know what ESPN is. You know what I'm saying? And then the time slots and things like that. So if you prop up one team, of course, that is going to draw that because of that. The access to see that is different than if you bury some other teams and channels that nobody, is watching or not a lot of people have access to. So yes, if you spread that out, if you share that viewership or that make that access a little bit wider, then you can start to see, some parity in, okay, yeah, Indiana did draw that much, but the Aces did too, or, Dallas did too, or, Seattle, whatever the team is, New York did too. So it just depends. Ghost says 4 in a row. Hell yeah, they're a dynasty for sure. Zai says if Ace is a dynasty, Sue Bird Storm is a dynasty. I mean, I didn't call them a dynasty. They've been called a dynasty, I think, because of the fact that they won 3 championships in 4 years. The only teams that have done that are the Comets, who won 4 championships in 4 years. So they were very dominant. So when you talk about that team won 4 championships in 4 years, and now you have the Aces who won 3 championships in 4 years. You can kind of see a little bit of the parallel. Now, I don't know. I know Seattle won. How many did they win? 2? I think Seattle won 2, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that's why they say that. Tulip says, Jay, they got UConn at 1, South Carolina at 2, UCLA at 3, Texas at 4, and LSU at 5. Interesting. Huh. I don't know what I think about that yet. I'm going to have to think on that. Tulip says they got USC like 17th. I know Juju is out, but dang. So they do not know about Jazzy Davison or Ken Smith. Ghost says there's an East Coast bias in college basketball, men and women. My way to early predictions, USC versus UCLA in the finals. Also USC to win the whole thing, 2027. My hot take is that UCLA is better than South Carolina this year. We shall see. Don't count us out yet. Zah says those are good points, Tulip. I just think it should be super hard to earn that label, and it should be 3 consecutive championships. I'll try to check back in with y'all later. Okay, Zah, enjoy your time. DJ says Bill trained the Aces to be tough. Look at Jackie. She's my MVP. I love Jackie. I love me some Jack. She's great. And she's come a long way from where she started. So I love the progression of Jackie. Ghost says it would be cool if Juju could bring a chip back to LA, but she's already making so much bank. I'm guessing she's got people on her team telling her the college career doesn't matter. Ghost says y'all get the likes up so Bud can afford some cold meds. I have allergies. Shut up. I have allergies. Groovy says if the Olympics don't happen, I think they would have 3-peated. Oh, you know what? You're right. That was an Olympic year. Yeah, you might be right. Eagles brother says Seattle has won 4 championships. Four championships, but I think we are viewed in a way that San Antonio, because we never won back-to-back 2004, 10, 19, 20, 2020. Oh, okay. 4. My bad. I said 2. I'm sorry, Seattle. They won 4, yes. Because a lot of people, when you talk about the NBA, you talk about the Lakers, where they had their 3-peat and then they're back-to-back, and you talk about the Bulls. During the time where I was watching them in the 90s, the Bulls had their 3-peat and their back-to-back, but they don't really talk about Houston as much, and they don't talk about San Antonio, because San Antonio was sliding in there every time the Bulls didn't win one. It seems like they got one, or if the Lakers didn't win one, then San Antonio got one. Even though when you look at the big picture, again, if you zoom out, they won those championships. They won 4 championships. Like, Seattle won 4 championships, but is not being talked about as dominant or as a dynasty. So, yeah, if they won 4 championships, I think they should be up there, dynasty. But like I said, if it depends, I guess, on the time frame. So, I don't make those decisions. I just watch. Tulip says speedy recovery to Chloe Kitts. Yes. Shout out to Chloe. I'm very disheartened to know that she has an ACL injury. Correction, 2004, 10, 18, and 20 for Seattle. Okay. Tulip says 16-year gap between the first and the fourth is not a dynasty, in my opinion. W had 3 comics, links, and aces. Okay. Yes, I meant 2018. Again, East Coast bias Seattle out of the hinterlands. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But let me see if I can. I don't know if I can or not. Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can find that clip of Kathy getting booed, because that's a fun time, isn't it? Let's see. Let me tell y'all something about this. I don't have to work today, tomorrow, Thursday or Friday. I was thinking, what a great time to take off, because if the Aces win, I may be able to get to Vegas and go to the parade. Wouldn't that be dope if I can actually make it to the parade and not have to watch it on TV? And then I was thinking if they won Friday or even Sunday, because last year they had a really quick turnaround and ended up having a parade like 2 days after they won. So I'm like, okay, that might be possible. If they have it on Friday, they might have it on Monday or Tuesday. Maybe I can get out there. They're not having the parade until Friday. They won Friday. So a whole 7 days goes by before they have this parade. I can't go to that because I have to work. So I'm very, very upset about that, because I really wanted to try to go. I'm still trying to see if it's a way that I can make that work. I don't think it is a way for me to make it work, because I have to work so early on Saturday. But man, I'm kind of bummed out, because I'm like, last couple of times it was a quick turnaround. This time is not. But my friend who lives in Vegas said that she thinks it's because it's been raining a lot there. And I think Friday was the day where the weather was supposed to be really good. So they probably pushed it back there so, people can come out and stuff like that. So let me see. I think I might have it. Or we can see if we can watch her as a family get booed. Let's see. Try to share it here. All right, hold on. Let me get it there. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Okay, here we go. Here's Kathy getting booed. I hope y'all can hear it. Listen to the crowd cheering for Mark Davis. Girl, you can't even hear this lady talk. Girl, you cannot even hear her. And then the crowd goes back to cheering. Oh no, well, I think she might have it where, I don't know if they have when Asia gets her award. Let's hear that again. Okay. All right, I just wanted to put that in there real quick. You can't even hear that lady talk. Tulip says time for Joyce to step up. She will start. Talking about Joyce on South Carolina. DJ says Comet Spark Aces have back to back. Time for Latson to step up. Is the parade on the Vegas Strip? Yeah, it was last year. Moses says yes, Jay. I watched that clip of Kathy getting booed on loop for 5 minutes straight. Some people were flipping her off too. Yeah, I saw that. I was trying to figure out why they were blurring out the screen. I thought it was like technical difficulties, but then I realized because somebody was right behind Kathy, like in the shot, flipping her off. Well earned, in my opinion, all them boos. Yep. Eagles Brother says, I heard many of the team's presidents and GMs are starting to turn on Kathy as well. Her seat is getting hotter than the hottest pepper in the world. Yeah. I also heard that same thing. Because I think also, like, I mean, it's a little sinister, but like, if you are doing something shady, right? If you're doing something shady, because you know some of the players are saying, or the players union is saying, like, she told us if we hit a certain threshold of revenue, then we can get some of that. Like that was the whole deal going into the last CBA. Like we weren't gonna just automatically get it. Although that's what we're trying to do now because the revenue is bigger and we just think we should get some, obviously, because we're part of the reason why it's growing. But she told us last time, okay, you can get revenue, but you got to hit this mark. And then when it came time to show the numbers, all Kathy said was, well, you didn't hit the mark, but she's not showing them what mark they hit. She's not showing them if they really did hit the mark. Like they don't know anything other than they didn't get the money because they didn't hit the mark. But how do they know they didn't hit the mark? Because she's not willing to show them what mark they hit. They don't know if they missed it by a little, by a lot, or they possibly made it and they're just cooking the books. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what's going on. But I say all that to say, if you cannot pull the wool over someone's head if they don't trust you, if they're already side-eyeing you, if they already have something like, she ain't really right. I don't think she's here for us. You can't do anything. And if those the ownership groups, the NBA folks and all that stuff have Kathy in place to continue to cook books or whatever it is, or be deceitful, and you know your whole league does not trust her, then she's no good to you anymore, right? Like she's no. And I'm not saying Kathy is the main sinister person. Kathy has bosses. Kathy has people on her team. Kathy works for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I think if there's some shadiness going on, the ownership groups are now starting to get upset because we can't use you anymore to do that because the ladies don't like you. And so whatever little shadiness, now you're messing up our money, so you got to go. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking, you know. Of course, I'm always thinking of some kind of, you know, outlandish thing, but hold on one second, y'all. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, y'all. Had to make sure my dog was not gonna have an accident on my floor. But I was talking about the owner. So it very well could be the owners maybe like, if my girls don't like you, I don't like you, so you gotta go. But I'm more so thinking they're like, you messing up my money. So we gotta get somebody else in here. So we shall see. Let's let's see. Hold on. What did I miss? Tulip says Lisa Sparks were one bucket away from three-peating. That team still has all the win streak records. Would be a dynasty for sure if they won game 2. That was my team. You know, that was my original team when I first started watching the W back in 97. You know, the Sparks were my original team because, you know, Lisa is my all-time favorite player. And man, I hated to see Houston win all those championships, and we weren't winning. So when we won our back-to-back, I was really really happy, and I really wanted us to three-peat, but it didn't happen. But yeah, I wish LA was considered a dynasty as well. Ghost says, so is a three-peat prerequisite for being called a dynasty, or is that the criteria? I don't know. What y'all think in there? Moses says Kathy has strong plantation owner vibes. I don't rock with that. Ghost says that's more than me. I put a single drop of Carolina Reaper on my beans and right. What are we talking about? I'm okay calling the Sparks a dynasty. If you make the finals over and over again, that should count for something. Ghost also says internet saying there's something hotter than the Reaper Pepper X. Leslie is your favorite book. Yes, she's my all-time favorite basketball player. I've loved her ever since watching her in the Olympics. You know, there wasn't a WNBA back then. So to see like the women playing basketball and winning gold medals, I thought that was amazing. I was also a big fan of basketball, and I just really liked, I don't know what it was that drew me to Lisa Leslie. I just really liked her. And then when they said she was going to be named to the Sparks, I was like, okay, I'm riding with the Sparks. I actually got to meet Lisa a long time ago at the NBA All-Star festivities that was happening when I lived in Houston. And the All-Star game was in Houston, and she was there hosting an event. Her and Tony Parker were hosting an event, and I was there, and I got to ask her some questions. That just made my whole life. But yeah, love me some Lisa Leslie. Why does that surprise you? Lisa is iconic to this day. The best true center in W. I loved Lisa because Lisa always wanted to be like the pretty girl. Like, you know, she put on her lipstick. She used to wear the little bow in her hair. Off the court, she was very much girly girl. But on the court, she was so dominant, and she would give you what you gave her. Like she would just play basketball, but if you wanted to talk noise, if you wanted to try to bump up on her, if you wanted to like try to, you know, be dominant against her, it wasn't happening. She would give it right back to you. So I love that. I mean, she used to call herself Wonder Woman on the court because of just like how like she turned into something else on the court. Very much serious, very much dominant, very much like, this is my court. Like, get off of it. Like, this is my house. So I used to love watching her play. I just did. I loved also how she used to talk about setting goals and like how she used to write down like, one day I'm going to, you know, be a professional basketball player. I'm going to win, you know, gold medals. I'm going to do this. I'm going to win a championship. I'm going to win MVP. Like she wrote down all her goals, and one by one things started to happen for her. So she promoted that a lot. Like, write your dreams down, write down what you want to do. You know, you got to make sure it's kind of like a vision board. You got to see it to believe it. And the more you see it, the more you think about it, the more you can manifest it, the more you work towards it. And that's what she did. So just as a teenager growing up, like I just found that to be inspirational coming from her. So I enjoyed watching her. Plus she was nice. You know, they say don't meet your heroes, but I got to meet her. She was super nice to me. And it just made my life, to be honest. How come you don't like any guards? Asia, Angel, Leslie. You never praise the backcourt. I don't know. I'm drawn to, I don't know. I guess I'm drawn to post players. I don't know why. But no, I love Cheryl Swoops. Cheryl Swoops was another favorite of mine. I liked Cynthia Cooper. I mean, I lived in Houston, so it was a lot of Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops. But Cheryl Swoops was Texas girl. So we heard a lot more about Cheryl and her being in Houston. It was just a dope thing. I got to meet her too, actually. Yeah, I like Cheryl. I guess I don't talk too much about, I don't know why I don't talk too much about guards. But on South Carolina, I love me some Raven Johnson. I love Raven. I love Big Foe. I love me some Hannah Hidalgo on Notre Dame. I liked Sony Citron. Yeah, I guess in college, I have my favorites that are more guards, I guess, than big people, big girls or whatever. Big people, bigs. But I don't know. I never thought about that. I think maybe I liked the post players more because they didn't get as much attention. It was always like who can, cut and slash and who can pass the best and who can do all these little, tricks and stuff getting to the basket. And the post players they just fight. They just battle. They battle every day. They battle against some of the best players in the league. And they don't really get a whole lot of attention as far as like recognition for being like good players. But if you look at the W, I mean, honestly, the post players are the most dominant. They are the ones that win the most MVPs. I don't know. I never thought about that. Tulip says Lisa was feminine, but still a dog. Ghost says, I find Angel quite feminine despite her ferocity on the court. Yeah, she's a girly girl for sure. Ghost says, yeah, that's right, Tulip. I played point guard in high school, so I lean towards shooters and ball handlers. Ghost says Hidalgo, yeah, she's fun. Tulip says Juju. I like Juju, but I never was like, I knew who Juju was, but I have, for my TV, I have SEC Network, right? And I have ACC Network. There wasn't a network to watch a lot of USC games. Like unless they were on like national TV, I never saw a lot of their games. Now they played more of their games last year, but the season before that, when Juju was a freshman, I couldn't get their games. Like I saved USC to record anytime they played, and I had like 2 games out of the whole season. I didn't get to see her play as much as I did the other players. So I know who Juju is. Obviously, I know the kind of player she is, but I just didn't watch her as much. So she's not someone I talk about a lot because I don't watch her a whole bunch. But yeah, Juju is amazing. Juju is fire. I still go watch her highlights on YouTube. So smooth with it, like butter on a skillet. Juju is my favorite. I repeat, East Coast bias. Well, I'm from Michigan, so I'm closer to the East Coast. I don't know. I'm 15 minutes. I grew up, 45 minutes away from South Bend. I'm 2 hours away from Chicago. If Juju had been born like Newark, she'd be even more popular. Yeah, Juju is the truth. Juju is the truth. I can't, definitely don't deny that. But shout out to my aces again for winning that game, winning that series 4-0. Again, not something I expected. I thought Phoenix would put up more of a fight, but it is what it is. And that shot by Asia in game 3, the dagger that I think took all the wind out of the sail of Phoenix. That shot, that turnaround jumper, that off balance fadeaway jumper with 2.2 seconds left. That was crazy. That was crazy. But I wanted to take a minute to switch gears here and just talk about the season as a whole, what I felt about the season as we're wrapping everything up and the W season is ending. It has ended. Overall, I really enjoyed the season. Of course, I wanted Chicago to have a much better season than they did. I thought Tyler would do much better as a coach than he did. I'm very skeptical of Jeff and Michael, so I don't really know what's going on there. Because of the situations there in Chicago, I don't know if my skyscrapers are going to stay together. It's looking like it's not likely, which kind of hurts my heart. But I know Angel has to do what's best for her. I'm hoping Camilla can do what's best for her. They are in rookie contracts, so it depends on what Chicago lets happen. But I would love to see them finish their contracts together at least, and both of them stay in Chicago. But I know Chicago is also trash as far as their organization is concerned. So I'm not gonna push that too much. But I did want to, excuse me. I did want to, talk about the team. So as I'm talking about Chicago, I'm gonna bring up. I wish I had another. I don't like the way this roster looks, but I'm going to share my screen here as we're talking about Chicago. Real quick, let me see what y'all are saying. South Bend, how come you don't back the Irish? Because I was never planning on staying up north, so it wasn't anything back the Irish. I didn't, we were more closer to Chicago was promoted more so than anything, but I wasn't into college basketball at all growing up, so I never really cared other than Duke. Duke was one of my favorite teams because Grant Hill went there, and I thought he was very cute, so that became one of my favorite college teams. But I really wasn't watching women's basketball, not college basketball at least. Citron, cool too. Asia game winner will be on W Reels for all time. Iconic. Tulip says 2.2 on the clock from 22 over married couple is iconic. It will be like MJ's push-off game winner. Yep, they put those pictures side by side. A moment in time. Ghost says over married couple. That's true. So funny, DB and AT. Yeah, that was crazy. Somebody said that Asia. How did they put? Asia got a ring while taking somebody's ring or something like that, meaning like that caused some tension with DB and AT, something weird like that. I can't remember exactly what they said, but let me bring this up real quick. So I'm talking about Chicago season. I'm gonna give it I don't want to give it an F because my girls are on that team, but it wasn't great. It wasn't great. We didn't even win the same amount of games that we won last season. We only won 10 games, and a lot of that came from some of the same teams. We did give it the college try. There was some games we definitely could have won. We had that nice win over New York. We had that nice win over the Lynx. But, we fell short. And I just don't know what the future of Chicago is. And honestly, with any of these teams, we don't know what the future holds because CBA. We don't know what's going on. Every vet, everybody that's not in a rookie contract, that's a vet, is a free agent, except for Kalani Brown and Lexi Brown. Everybody else is a free agent. So as I go through these teams, and y'all can put y'all input in the chat as well. Also, if y'all are in here, go ahead and give me the likes. If you like what you hear, go ahead and subscribe. I would appreciate that. But go ahead and drop in the chat, what you think about these teams and players and things like that. So if we're looking at the 2025 roster of Chicago, and I don't know who's going to be protected, who's not going to be protected. Once CBA happens, we have two new teams, so it might be, I'm assuming, 2 expansion drafts or something like that. So I don't know about who's protected or not, but just off of I'm just off the top of my head. I'm not considering a lot of things like the expansion draft, CBA, all this other stuff. I'm just thinking, who do I see back with this team? So we got Elizabeth Williams, Haley Van Lith. Haley Van Lith is a rookie on a rookie contract, so she's back. Now, does she get waived in the preseason? We don't know. But she's back because she's, on that rookie contract. Elizabeth Williams, does she stay? I think she stays. Angel, we don't know. It's up in the air. I would like for her to stay, and I would like for Jeff and Michael to leave. I don't think that's going to happen, so I don't know. But for now, Angel is with Chicago. Ariel, does Ariel come back? I don't think Ariel comes back. I don't think Rebecca is back. I don't think Sev is back. Camilla is back, although I would love for her to, jump ship as well. If Angel's not there, I would like her to go as well. Kia Nurse. Do I see Kia Nurse back? I don't know. I think this experience probably put a bad taste in their mouths just overall. And I'm not sure if these people want to come back to Chicago, but I don't know about Kia. Mick. I would like to see Mick back. I don't know if Mick is back. Maddie, she's on a rookie contract, so she might be back. Vandersloot ACL is out, so she's with Chicago for the time being. And Rachel Banham, Rachel wants to play, so I think she wouldn't mind staying in Chicago, but I don't know if she'll be back. So we're looking at a whole new team. We're looking at a whole new team for Chicago. Let me see. Tulip says F. I think I'm gonna get. I don't. Did I give them a grade? Oh, I forget. I didn't even do this, y'all. My bad. I would give them. Oops. Hold on. I'm trying to move this. Why is this here? It won't move where I need it to move to. Anyway, I'm giving them a D. I'm giving Chicago a D. Ghost says, the only good thing I can say about Sky season is Marsh point forward strategy showed Angel has some legit passing skills. This was good to see. I think Angel has always had good passing skills. It just was not really on display. Angel is very dynamic and can be more dynamic. I think a lot of, because she's a post player known for post, right? Just, playing around the basket. I think if she has more confidence, her shot will fall. She will take more shots in the game. I think she's very good on defense. I think her defense gets overlooked. She's amazing on defense. Most of the time, the players that she is guarding are some of the best players in the game. And they, for the most part, don't meet their averages. Like a lot of those times, like they may get some points, but they don't get the points. Like Fee doesn't get the points that she normally gets when she's playing against Angel. Asia, the same way. NECA, the same way. When you look at some of these players that, De'Erica, Stewie, JJ, like, Angel's defense is very much I kind of just think it's looked over. Also, she's deflecting. She's good at steals. I think she changes the game. I think she's really good at seeing the floor. I think she could be a good point forward, but she's got to find out like where her bread and butter is. She does need to come out from the basket more, because most of the fours they're not like just stand by the basket type of players. They're taking threes. They're out on the floor. They're moving around. They're doing everything at that line almost, with fadeaways and jumpers. And, they can post you up and, get you in the basket, but a lot of the fours are out. So she has to grow as the game grows, but very dynamic player. Bantam, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with her. I don't think we're going to see 90% of this team, I think, is not going to be here next season. That's just what I think. So then, let's see. Let's go to Atlanta. Let me see where we at. Hold on. We're going to go to Atlanta Dream and see. I'm going to make sure I show y'all this time. See about them. So Atlanta Dream. I thought Atlanta was, I wouldn't say a surprise team, but they had a really good run this season. I mean, them being making it to number 2 until the Aces ended up taking it at the very end. But they constantly kept winning the games they needed to win to get up to number 2. They were always, if I'm not mistaken, always top 5. Never dipped where they may not make it into the playoffs like they did last season. Last season was a toss-up if they were going to make it or not. This season, they were solid the whole time. I didn't know how they would work out with the new coach, but they seemed to work out very well with him. Someone who I felt like had a very good season with him was Naz Hillman, who I thought could be most improved, just based off what she had done. I think they said the number of threes that she had taken in her whole career, I think she matched that in one game one time. Like her threes were like butter the whole time. Having Pow there, she fit right in. I think that was a good move by Atlanta, having her there. Jordan Canada dealt with some injuries, so she was kind of in and out, but I think she did a pretty good job. So if I were to rate Atlanta, I would give Atlanta. I give them a A. I think they did well this season. Like not something that not something I was expecting, but yeah. So who's going to be on the team next season? I think for the most part, I don't really see anybody leaving Atlanta. I don't see anybody. I mean, maybe some of your role players may not be there. Obviously, if we're dealing with expansion drafts, a lot of these people won't be protected. But I think this was a pretty solid group. If you're looking at Naz, I think Naz stays. Pow, I think they're keeping Pow. Jordan Canada, I think she stays. Terry, I don't know. I don't know if she stays. She is a rookie. Again, I don't know if she'll make it past preseason, depending on who they get in. Ryan Howard, I think, is there. Nia Coffey, I think, is there. Alicia Gray, obviously, I think stays. Sika Kone, I don't know if she stays. Bree Jones, I feel like she was a good fit coming in from Connecticut. I think she did very well in Atlanta, so they might, end up keeping her. Shatori Walker Kimbrough, I don't know if she stays. Maya Caldwell, I don't know if she stays. BG, if BG does not retire, I think BG will be back with Atlanta. That's what I think. No, I haven't seen the rankings. I haven't seen those either. Power rankings. But I could pull those up. But Atlanta, with Carl as their new coach, I mean, now what I am upset about is that I thought they could take care of Indiana and it would be Atlanta and Vegas going against each other in the semifinals. So I was very kind of, I don't know, now I won't say shocked, but I felt like they could have done they could have did a better job with Indiana. I don't know what was going on there, but they kind of fell short of that. But that's playoff. basketball. So, you never know. You just got to be ready when your name is called, and Indiana was ready, and Atlanta was not. Okay, let's look at Connecticut. Let's see what Connecticut had going on this season. Connecticut literally lost every single player on their team. Was it everybody? I'm trying to. Olivia Nelson-Ododa was on the team last year, but everybody else was not on that team. And you had Mabry because she traded to be there. But yeah, they lost everybody. Dejanay, AT, DB, Brianna Jones, like every single person on that team left. And so they literally were starting from the bottom. But they had a lot of promise. Even though they were a bottom team for most of the season, I'm going to give them like a C-. The C- because of their record, but they had a lot of fight in them. They were beating teams that nobody thought they would beat. They were coming out playing with tons of rookies and just random players because Marina got hurt. Tina Charles was there, but Tina's like, look, I just came out of retirement. Like, I ain't trying to do all this up and down all game. But they really showed some fight. They didn't look that great in the beginning, but near the end, they definitely showed that they were there and they could be a good team next season if they continue to put pieces there that work. So we're looking at the roster. So does Mabry stay? Does Mabry stay with Connecticut? That's a good question because she wanted a trade out of Connecticut prior to the rookies getting there. We know the whole thing with her and Sanaya being very close. I don't know if they were dating or whatever, but at this point, there's nothing there. Sanaya is actually, kind of getting at people on the internet for suggesting that, which is kind of crazy because they were the ones that were putting it out there, even if they were joking. Like, you can't joke about something like that and then get mad when people are like, commenting saying like, where's Marina or are y'all together or whatever. Like, you put that out in the atmosphere. So you can't be that upset that people actually might believe that. So whether they were in a relationship or not, nothing's going on now. So I don't know if that changes, or at least that's what they're telling us. I don't know if that changes Marina wanting to stay or go, but I don't know. We'll see. Haley Peters. I don't know. I don't know if she stays. Olivia Nelson-Ododa, she's a free agent, I believe. She's in 3 years. I don't know if she's still necessarily under a rookie contract, though. I don't know if she stays. Raya Marshall did not play a lot. So if they get some good people, I don't know if she stays. Bria Hartley did well for Connecticut. She had played under that coach before overseas. So I think that was a good fit. So I think if she decides to come back, she will stay. Lindsay Allen, I don't know if Lindsay stays with Connecticut. Sanaya, we know she's under rookie contract, so she's there unless they waiver. Aaliyah Edwards, that was kind of a peculiar trade there. I forgot Aaliyah Edwards being on Connecticut. I don't know where Aaliyah fits in Connecticut. Not really sure about that. So I don't know if she stays. I think she's a really good player. I don't think she's getting waived or anything like that. I just don't know if they trade her again or they don't protect her and maybe she ends up in Toronto. That could be something. I don't know. Anissa Morrow, I think Anissa's good there. Touré, she had her ups and downs. I don't know if she stays there. Tina Charles, I think Tina says she might be back next year. So she might be back. We'll see. Lacan, I think she was great for them, and I think she stays there. So I gave them a C. What does Tulip say? My prediction came true, Jay. They finished above the sky. They did. You're right. They did. You're mostly right most of the time, Tulip. I have to give it to you. Jeremy says, hey, J-Spot, congratulations to you. The Aces deserve this championship. Asia just proves why she's the best in the world. She is the best in the world. Shout out to Asia. Then let's go to New York. New York. What do y'all think about New York? What do y'all think about New York's season? Are we thinking because of the injuries, New York started off hot and then they kind of fizzled out because of so many injuries that were going on? Are we taking that as for what it is? Like, are we thinking that, or are we saying like it just didn't work out because, people weren't on top of their game? Like, I'm very interested to know what y'all thought about New York. Now, New York started off very hot. New York and Minnesota, they were the teams that were in the finals last year. They started off the season, both of them started off the season undefeated for a while, at least up to 8 games. And then things started, I won't say falling apart, but it started getting shaky for New York. You had injuries with JJ. We knew that Lainey Hamilton wasn't going to be there. Then, you got injuries with Natasha Cloud. You got injuries with Niara Sabally. You had injuries with Saab. You had injuries. You had a concussion from Izzy. You had, it was so many people that was hurt. Stewie got hurt. It was a lot going on. JJ. And it just wasn't, they just couldn't get it together. And they continued. They were second for a while, and then they fall to 3, and then they fall to 4. At one point, they were as low as 6, if I'm not mistaken, because at that time, that's when the Aces were getting hot, and then Indiana's winning, and Atlanta's winning, and they're continuously pushing them down. And so when they get into the playoffs, they're not even, they're number 5, if I'm not mistaken, because Minnesota was 1. Aces were 2. Atlanta was 3. Phoenix was 4. If I'm not mistaken, isn't that how that was? Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, they just didn't. It wasn't. It wasn't panning out for them. Tulip says New York had a disaster season. They built a super duper team to go home in round 1. Yes, injuries. Yes, injuries, but still. DJ says New York is aging. JJ Stewie. Okay. Jeremy says, I'm interested in who's the next coach. That is true. What hurt the Liberty was Lainey Hamilton being out, Sabally being out, Stewie missing 13 games, and JJ not being aggressive. Those are all good points. Yeah, they fired Sandy. I even forgot about that. After they lose in the first round, not being close to repeating, they won last year. They fire Sandy, and the GM pretty much said was it the GM or the owner? I think the GM. Yeah, she won some championships, but that don't mean nothing to us. They were just like, we got to let her go. So I don't really know. New York is another one that is up in the air. I do not know what the future is for New York. If Sandy gets another coaching position, is she going to get some of her players there on whatever team she goes to? Are these players going to stay here? Again, everybody that's not in a rookie contract is a free agent. So I don't know who stays, who goes. Talbot, I don't see her being a part of New York. Rebecca Gardner, that's kind of up in the air. I don't know. Sabally, Niara, she might want to leave. She might not want to sign back with New York. Natasha Cloud, the GM did not sound like he wanted to keep Natasha Cloud, which was very interesting. He felt in some ways that having Natasha Cloud on the team somewhat affected Sabrina Ionescu's performance in a way. So I don't know if she's back. That's going to be very interesting. Phoebish, I can see her coming back. I mean, she is technically in a rookie contract. I don't know, though. Depends on the coach. Depends on what the GM wants to do. Sabrina. Does Sabrina stay? Does Sabrina stay? Or does Sabrina want to go to Portland? You know, her coach is not there anymore. She's an Oregon girl, right? Maybe she wants to go play for Portland. I don't know. I mean, that new coach, I mean, maybe she likes him. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. Maybe she wants to take a risk and do that. Does she stay with New York or does she go? That's a good question. Izzy? I think Izzy obviously wants to stay in New York if Tosh Cloud is there, but if Tosh isn't there, I mean, I don't know. I can see her. I said I think she'll be good in Dallas, but if Angel goes there, I don't know about Izzy being there, but Izzy definitely can, be, I don't want to say a backup in a disrespectful way, but she could come off the bench there and help out. So, I mean, they definitely need some post player help in Dallas. But, taking Angel out of the equation, I think Izzy would be great there. Kennedy Burke. Does Kennedy stay? I don't know if Kennedy stays. Johannes. I think if things are falling apart in New York, I don't think Johannes stays. Stewie. I think Stewie stays. I think Stewie likes New York. That's her hometown, her home state. So I think she might stay. Emma Messiman, I think she's out. I think she's like, I'm good. I'm good on New York. JJ, I don't know. Her body language, her attitude was real suspect at the end of that series they played. I don't know. I don't know if she stays in New York. I don't know. She got her ring. She got what she wanted. I don't know if she continues to stay in New York. I don't think it's anything personal with the players. I don't know. It's to be determined. I think this might be another team that might blow up, depending on the new coach that they get. It's all dependent on the system that they want to push and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know yet. If I would grade New York, though, I would give New York I would give them a B minus because they weren't on the losing side of things. Like, they didn't fall out of contention. They weren't close to falling out of contention, but their second half of the season was just not great. And they did have injuries, so I won't fault them too much, but I'm going to give them a B minus on that. Tulip says Saab sounded unsure in the press conference. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if she comes back. Next up, we have the Washington Mystics. Now, Washington, man, hold on. Let me do this. Washington was, I picked them as my sleeper team because I didn't really know what was going to happen with them. They were another team that kind of, that had all those picks. They had Georgia Amore. They had Kiki Iriafin. They had Sony Citron. So we didn't know. They still had Brittany Sykes, but we just didn't know what direction they were going to go. But when they started this season, and they were the number 2 team in the beginning, I was like, whoa, what is going on? They also had a new coach in Sydney. And we know Sydney, well, most of us know Sydney from Chicago. He was an assistant coach to Teaspoon in Chicago. And we didn't know what he was going to do, but we learned that he can definitely coach young talent to be successful. Now, in the end, they didn't make it to the playoffs. They kind of, the other teams, as they were heating up, it was too much for Washington to kind of overtake, and they were losing some games as well, especially when they lost Brittany Sykes. It kind of hurt them a little bit as far as offensively, and just having that, that vet on your team, that she was drawing a lot of fouls that helped them win a lot of games when it came down to close games. You still had Shakira Austin there, who was doing her best, but it just didn't pan out. You had teams that were actually just fighting harder and winning games. That kind of knocked them out. But I give Washington a B, because they were doing something that I don't think anybody was expecting them to do. Tulip gave New York a B minus. Oh, Tulip says a B minus is way too generous. They were championship or bust, and they bust. Yeah, but what do you want to do? Give them a C? You give them a C minus because they didn't make it? They did fizzle out. They fizzled out, and I don't want to count the playoffs. They did fizzle out, but they never was the bottom. They weren't the bottom half of teams. So I'm only grading the regular season. I'm not grading. I don't want to put the playoffs in there because they had injuries. I don't know. It's not a whole lot you can do with that. Tulip says New York were reigning champs. They gave up a first rounder for 1 year of cloud and signed a top 3 European player in Messerman just to win the chip, and they failed at the first hurdle of the playoffs. A D minus. Okay. You have to match their total. What? Match to their expectations? Okay, to their expectations. Okay. D minus, that's what Tulip says. I'm going to stick with my C minus. C minus for me. But Washington. So looking at the roster, Shakira Austin. Does Shakira Austin stay in Washington? She's a 3-year player. That means she's still on a rookie contract with a fourth year option. I don't know if they take that option, but she might be there. Suge Sutton, also 3-year player. She might be there. JC is another rookie on a rookie contract. Not a rookie, but she's on a rookie contract. Jay Melbourne. Is she on a rookie contract too? Dang. Madison Scott. They picked up Madison Scott at the end on a kind of hardship rest of season contract. I don't know if they keep Madison. I think she's a great player. I hope she finds her way on the team. I don't know where she fits in on this team. I don't know if I see her there. Georgia Amore never got to play. I think she's there, especially now that they don't have Sykes there. Hopefully she can play this upcoming season. Emily Inksler. She's also a 3-year player. So that's pretty much also a rookie on a rookie contract. Do they have it? Like, they ain't got nobody? Okay, there's some. Because I'm like, dang, everybody here is on a on like a rookie type contract. Emily Inksler, I don't know if she stays. She might. Sony Citron, rookie. Big Mama Steph. Does Big Mama Steph stay in Washington? I don't know. I'm leaning towards I don't think she is. Alicia Clark. Does Alicia Clark stay in Washington? Does she want to stay and help cultivate the younger players, be like a mentor, be there to teach? And she already won her championship. She has championships from Seattle. She has championships from the Aces. Not to say she doesn't win anymore, because, who doesn't? But she's been 6th Woman of the Year. She has some accolades behind her. So I don't know if she's as hungry, like she's like what they call ring chasing. I don't know if she's trying to get to another team so she can win another championship. She might be content in Washington trying to build what they have going on and continue to help that team grow into something, great. So I don't know if she might stay. I don't know. Lucy Olsen and Kiki Irfin, both of them rookie contracts. So it just, Washington is full of rookies and young players. They also have more freaking picks next season, like more more than I think anybody else again. So I don't know what direction Washington is going into. It's going to be very interesting for me. I don't know if I graded Washington. I'm gonna give Washington. I'll give Washington I'll give them like a C. I don't remember what I said, but I'll give them a C plus, almost a B, just because they put a lot of people on notice. Second half wasn't as great. They had to deal with a trade, and they also had some injuries and stuff. But for a young team with this much experience, like the people that have the most experience are Big Mama Steph and Alicia Clark at 11 and 12 years. Everybody else is 3 years and under. So for them to not even be a bottom team, they beat some of the best teams all season. I can give them like a C plus, almost a B, I think. Mystics did well. I'll give them a C plus. All right, Tulip. So Washington, they might. I mean, I don't know if they have a choice. I mean, they have so many picks coming in this next season. I think Washington is going to continue to grow through the draft, grow from the bottom up, and in 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years or so, Washington may be a real contender in the league. We'll see. Next, get them out of the way. Next, we got Indiana coming up. Let me go ahead and get them pulled up. Indiana Fever. So Indiana Fever was the main team that people kept saying, "Oh, they're gonna make it. They're gonna win a chip. They're gonna dust everybody. Oh, look at their roster. They're gonna kill everybody. They're gonna take over the league. This and that. They were favorites to win the championship, right?" They did okay. Like, they did good. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell, you can't say enough about her. Like, Kelsey was eating them. Like, she was killing them every which way. Aaliyah played much better. Lexi played much better. Sophie was out there doing her thing, I guess, being a quote unquote enforcer, whatever that looks like. They did struggle. They struggled having Cece in the lineup. Cece was dealing with some injuries. She only played 13 games. So I think once she was out, they were able to figure out what's the best move to make, what's the best lineup, what's the best rotation. And they were able to do that. I mean, now, unfortunately, with them, hey D, hey Miss D, unfortunately, you had Ari McDonald went down. You had Sid went down, injury. You had, not to laugh, but you had, it was so many injuries. Sophie went down with injury. They had so many people out on injury that they had to have emergency hardship players come on. Because Ari McDonald was somebody that came on because Sid and Cece, they didn't have anybody else. So they had to have her. And then she got hurt. They got Odyssey that came on. But you had these players that had to come in. And a lot of people say, oh, they did all this with hardship players, blah, blah, blah. You act like these hardship players were like horrible players. Odyssey is not horrible. You know what I'm saying? Shea Petty is not horrible. Ariel is not horrible. So it's not like they got scrubs. They ain't pick up like the high school girls bench players to go fill in these spots. They got players that should have and could have made had a permanent spot in the W. That it just didn't work out for them. But I don't want to take away from what the players that they are. A lot of people have kind of been downplaying and like, oh, I can't believe the Aces couldn't beat a team that only had, 2 original players or 3 original players on the team, and everybody else is hurt, and they played a bunch of hardship players. These hardship players ain't scrubs. They not. Tulip says Kelsey Mitchell proves she's their best player. I agree with that. Team improved without the player. Yep. Hey, Miss D, what's going on? How are you? So if I was to give Indiana a grade, I'd give them a B. I think they had a lot of expectations on them. Of course, everybody, like I said, was trying to say that they were going to get a championship. I always thought that, it was going to take a little time. Like, you got to gel, and, DB was on this team at one point. You got to gel, and you got to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And so it took them a while to figure that out. But once they did, they started rolling, and they were winning some big games. They made it. They were like solidly in the playoff race the whole season. They did much better than they did last season. Of course, last season they were out first round. They made it to the first round, swept. This time they made it to the second round and took it all the way to game 5. So, just overall, they were a better team and did better than they did last season. And I think, I give them a B. I think they did pretty well with the improvements of the players. It really helped them. Now, who's going to be on the team next season? I don't know, because again, I think everybody was jumping on teams just because they could. They knew that CBA was coming up, and they knew they would be free agents, and they would have an opportunity to go wherever they wanted to go. So who stays on this team? I don't know. Does Kelsey Mitchell stay in Indiana? I think Indiana is willing to throw as much money as they can at her to get her to stay. Does she stay? I don't know. I would like to see her play somewhere else, but she's definitely the driver of that team. If she was not on that team, they wouldn't be as great as they are. Like when you got somebody like her on your team, that's just an automatic bucket. There were several games, and of course I didn't watch the games, and I could see the score. I could see the highlights, because obviously they're going to show those highlights. I could see, and I would just look at the score. They would be down, or they would be like within 1 point, and then Kelsey Mitchell goes off in the fourth quarter for like 20 points and brings her team a win. You know what I'm saying? Like those hustle plays, those things that she was doing to help her team is hard to, like, you got to give that girl everything she wants. And I just don't know if she stays. I know it's kind of iffy if she was going to be there last season. Or she was going to be there this season, because it kind of sounded like she probably wouldn't. But I don't know. I don't know if Kelsey stays or not. Like I said, if she was on another team, I would love to see her on another team so I can, really put my all into rooting for her, because I think she deserves it. Odyssey Sims needs to be on a team. I would love to see her in Chicago, personally. But I don't know I think she did very well for Indiana. Very well for Indiana, especially in the playoff area, or the playoff series. She has the experience. She has the years in the game. She's 11 years in. She can be a bucket. Sometimes she is a little wild. It was a little chaotic there, but Odyssey was cooking from time to time there. So I don't know if she stays with Indiana, but I definitely want to see her on a team. Ari or Ari? Ari McDonald. Do they keep her? I don't know. I don't know if they keep her. Bree Hall. I don't know. I don't think they keep her. I think they needed her. They had her for a hardship player, but Bree has been like tossed around the league, kind of like Celeste Taylor. Like, I think they deserve a chance. Maybe, just maybe, she might get picked up on a team. Maybe Indiana keeps her. I'm not sure. But I think she deserves a chance to be on a team and like for real be on a team, and not just be a backup as far as like a hardship type player or something like that. I think Hopefully a team picks her up for the preseason. She can, prove herself and actually make the team. Because we'll have some teams. We got 2 extra teams coming this season, so hopefully there's some spots available. But I don't know if she stays with Indiana. Shea Petty, I don't know if she stays Indiana. Natasha Howard, that's one because I'm not sure if she stays with Indiana. Aaliyah, she's there. I think she is there. Sophie Cunningham, I think she's staying. She wants to be with Caitlin, so she's going to be there. Lexi Hall, that's this what they call themselves, the Tres Leches. They'll be there. Bree Turner, Breezy. Does Breezy stay in Indiana? I don't know. I don't think Breezy stays. Damaris Dantas, does she stay? Maybe she might stay. Timpson, I don't know if they keep Timpson there. Of course, Cece, she'll be there. Ariel Powers, I don't think she stays there. Sid, I don't think she stays there. Chloe Bibby, maybe. I don't know. That's kind of to be determined. Tulip says Indy had a good season, especially considering the injuries, giving them a B+. Okay, we're on the same page with that. So that's Indiana. Stephanie White, I felt like she did an okay job there. But again, Stephanie White's whole thing was that she just could not get over the hump to get a championship. And yeah, they did have injuries, but it's the same thing, the same situation. And it's kind of funny to hear AT talk when they were playing them. At some point, she said, we know everything. She didn't change up any plays. We know every single thing that they're going to do like the back of our hand. And so we know it. We're just going to, we're going to play accordingly because she's not changing up anything. So I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, dang, Steph, you got to change up your game plan now. Like you got people that's been playing with you for a long time. And now they're on the other side. They can't know your whole playbook. But, AT said they definitely knew that playbook. The next team we're going to go over is Dallas. Let's talk about Dallas. Dallas, I hate to give them, they're another team like Chicago, although I don't feel the way about Dallas like I feel about Chicago. I think Chicago just kind of really disappointed me this year just as an organization. But Dallas, I thought they had some good promise, but they ended up just not, like, they weren't winning games. And yeah, Arike was hurt. You had Paige that was hurt. They also went through injuries just like they did last season. Didn't really think they would have the same kind of season this season that they had last season, but they did. Struggling to get wins. I think they're another team that got, 10 wins. So, they were a team that you didn't know what you were going to get. We all remember that that game that who did they play? I think it was Phoenix, where the rookies were the starters. You had Paige, JJ, Zaza starting, and they just ran circles around, I think it was Phoenix, like shell shocked. They didn't know what to do. So they definitely had promise. They got the skill there. It's just trying to get everything to work. Paige being there obviously was a big deal for Dallas. Their coach, though, obviously not a great coach and no longer there. They did start off having Alyssa Smith and having Dejanay there, and both of those players got traded to much better teams. Fortunately, Dejanay got hurt and wasn't able to play fully in the playoffs, and we know Nalyssa's story. She's got a ring at this point. So that worked out for, I don't want to say that worked out for both of them. Going to better teams definitely was something that they were very happy about. It worked out for Nalyssa. Dejanay didn't necessarily, it wasn't a great ending for her because of her injury, not because of the trade. But it was a lot of moving and shaking with Dallas. Tulip says she gives Dallas a D plus. Jeremy says thank Dallas for giving us Dejanay. Jeremy said it was sad that they're not going to see this particular Indiana team once the Golden Girl comes back. I don't think we're going to see the same team on a lot of teams. Jeremy says, I know Paige is going to take the franchise to another level. I hope Diamond Miller finds success. I thought Diamond Miller was a good pickup, but again, it's all about the system. It's all about the direction that the team goes into. It just wasn't great for them, but I think they had promise. Like, again, I think they surprised a lot of teams. They won some games that people didn't think they would win, but ultimately they only won 10 games, just like Chicago did. So looking at the roster, Amy Okonkwo. She's a rookie. She was someone that got picked up because they needed hardship players. That was another team that needed some emergency players because half their team was hurt. Diamond Miller, who came from the Lynx. Does she stay with Dallas? I think she can work in Dallas. I think she can work there. I think they'll keep her. Maisha Hines Allen, does she stay in Dallas? I don't think so. I don't think she'll be on Dallas team next season. Paige, I think she's there. Asia Petty, I don't think she'll be there. Grace Berger, I don't think she'll be there. Zaza, I hope she's there next season. I think she's great. JJ Quinterly, I know she's hurt with the ACL injury, if I'm not mistaken. So I think she stays. I don't know how long. Like, I don't know if she's a permanent resident in Dallas, right? Even if she wasn't injured. I'm not really sure. It all depends on the direction that they want to go. But she did great while she, playing there. Louisa Geisasolder. I think that's how you say it. I don't know if she stays. Maddie, I think Maddie is great for them. She's also under a rookie type contract. So I think she's there. This is the question. Does Arike stay? Does Arike stay in Dallas and play with Paige? Or does Arike leave and go to a different team? She is a free agent. So does she test the waters and go somewhere else, or does she stay in Dallas? I think Arike is kind of tired of losing, so I don't really know. It's been 2 very bad seasons in Dallas there, so I don't know. I'm not sure. Lee Yuru, does she stay in Dallas? I think she was doing good in Dallas. Obviously, she also had an injury. She's kind of been moving around the league. She came from Seattle, and then before that, she was with the Sparks. I don't know. Does she stay? Haley Jones. I think Haley Jones was a great pickup for Dallas. I hope she does stay there with Dallas. I think she did very well. Kristen Williams. Didn't really see her play that much. I'm not sure if she stays. Ty Harris. I think Ty is great if she stays there. She's also coming off an injury, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen with her. Right now, their coaching staff is blank. Right now, we don't know who's going to be the coach. I think that's a big determining factor of who stays and who goes or who comes to Dallas. That's all up in the air. But, I would give Dallas, I would have to give them a D as well, just because, they didn't really improve that much over last season. Troy's in the house. What's going on, Troy? Jeremy says, I know Paige is going to, I already said that. Paige is taking it to, is going to build that franchise. Who's next? Let's look at Golden State Valks. The Golden State Valks, Golden State, I didn't see them coming. I ain't even gonna lie. I thought Golden State would be one of the bottom teams. I did not think that they would dominate anything. I didn't think they would win anything. I just thought they were a bunch of, the roster did not seem appealing. Not to say that these people were scrubs again, but it just didn't. It's like it was all these players that other teams didn't want, right? Because they weren't protected. They were gathering all these players that weren't starters to this team. So on paper, you're just like, I don't think they're going to do well. And then they get up there and they do well. They do well, right? They do better than any expansion team in their first year. They did better than any team in the history of the W in their first year. They made it to the playoffs in their first year. Their coach was coach of the year in her first year. Off an expansion draft. And yeah, again, injuries was a really big thing with them, as it was damn near every team. Like, it was just, this season was just a season full of injuries. But I have to give the Valks. I have to give the Valks a B plus, because it's almost up to an A, but B plus because they did something that no other team had done before them. They were never in the bottom. They did fall a little bit once injuries came around. They started losing players to there was that EuroLeague tournament and stuff like that. They were switching players in and out and all this other stuff, and it was very crazy. But they gave it to you. Like, they gave it to you. Defense, crazy. 3-pointers, crazy. Crowd, crazy. Sold out every single night. Only reason I don't give them an A is that, they weren't the top team. Like, they were what, six or something like that, 6 or 7. But man, they did great. Tulip gives Valks an A plus. Okay, I ain't mad at that. They did great. Like, I don't know, like whatever Natalie, Jeremy also give Valks A plus. Whatever Natalie had going on there, she had a great game plan in her mind. She knew how to utilize these players. She knew these players were hungry. She knew they kind of had a chip on their shoulders. And she just let them play their hearts out. And they were tough. They were a tough team to beat. They weren't a team that you can just go in there and think you're going to roll over them, because they could score like that. So full of energy. It was honestly a great thing to watch them play, and very surprising. So their roster, who's staying? So this is crazy, because we don't know, again, who's staying, who's going. Valks already had a a carousel, or I don't know, revolving door of players coming in and out because of overseas obligations, and then people getting cut and waived and added and all this other stuff. But so I don't know who stays. Carla Late, does she stay? She did great for them. I think she stays. Caitlin Chen, does she stay? Possibly. I'm not sure what direction Natalie is going into. Letitia Ami here, I hope she stays. She's kind of like on a rookie scale contract. She can also be waived. She might want to go play in Toronto, go back to Canada. I don't know, but I thought she came out of her shell big time from playing in Atlanta. You actually could see what she can do here in with Golden State. Kayla Thornton, I think she's there. Kayla Charles. Does she stay? I think she did good for them. I don't know if she stays. Ileana Ruper. Does she stay? I think she might stay. Salon, I think she's there. Timmy, I think Timmy did great. I think Timmy's there. Tip Hayes, if Tip comes back, I think she's there. Kate Martin, I think Kate stays. Veronica Burton, I think she did great there. She's going to stay. Or they're going to keep her, stay, whatever. Xander Lucini, she was dealing with some injuries, if I'm not mistaken. Does she stay? I think she might stay. I don't know. That's kind of a toss-up. Monique Billings, I think Monique stays there. So that might be one of the teams where I feel like most of that team might stay together. But we shall see. Jeremy says new expansion team, and after the draft, everyone thought they were going to be the worst team in the league with no superstar for them to be the most talented team. So A+. Okay. Tulip says actually A because they got swept in the playoffs. Jeremy says shout out to Natalie Nakase, new coach who was the main pupil under Becky. Yep. Natalie came in and did her thing. Can't lie about that. Shout out to her. Who's the next team? Next team. Well, I guess we could talk about my aces. The aces. I'm interested to know what y'all gonna grade the aces, but aces. I'm gonna give my aces for the season. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? I think the first half of the season, I would give them a C because we didn't know what was going on. They weren't winning a lot of games. They had lost 14 freaking games, which is crazy. Something that I was just not used to seeing from the Aces because a couple years ago, they had only lost 6 games. That's the season where they won their championship 2023. And then to come in and they struggled last season, but this season, it was just, I wasn't really sure. So C-, but damn it, the way that they cleaned it up, the way that they lost that damn 53-point game or lost that game by 53 points and never lost again. Do you hear what I'm saying? They lost by 53 points to the number 1 team in the league, and then they never lost again. Never lost again in the regular season. They ran through everybody. New York, Golden State, Indiana, Phoenix. Like, they did not lose a game. Everybody was food. They ended up only losing those 14 they lost in that first half. Never lost again after that, and literally won a freaking championship. I'm giving them an A. Because if I average, maybe not average, but they started off as a C, they would get an A++ because they won the championship. But I would give them an A because they made it all the way from 8th or 9th place to number 2. Number 2, never, ever losing a game in that second half. And came in as the number 2 seed when they were like number 9 or number 8. So yeah, I have to give them an A for that because, man, like, everybody was sleeping on them. Everybody was like, oh, the Aces are washed. They're done. It's a wrap. And look what they did. They had a great, it took some moving and grooving. Jewel had to come off the bench. Who knew that? KB went into the starting spot. Who would think that would happen? We got Alyssa Smith, and we already talked about her, like her impact and what she did coming in there with the team. Dana Evans was showing some production. It was a lot of different things, and then the guards decide to wake up, and Jackie's doing well, and Chelsea's doing well. Chelsea's showing you why she's called the point guard. You know what I'm saying? Why she was dominant and unrivaled. Like that started happening. Asia was just being Asia. Asia was just doing Asia things. But yeah, it was a great thing to see. Like I couldn't believe my eyes. It was just like a switch went off, and they just rode that wave until the end of the season with 16 straight wins. And the last team to do something like that, I think, was them. Earlier, like maybe 2000. I think they said their 2022 season, somewhere around there. But yeah, turned it around. They have to get the A for the turnaround. They just have to. Let me see what y'all say, and we'll look at the roster as well. Let me see. Tulip says Aces get an A. DJ says Lynx owns our Aces. How? Aces equal A. Jeremy says I would give them a B plus outside of the Fever. The Aces was the most resilient team in the W. I respected the Aces before, but after that 53-point loss, I thought this wasn't y'all's year. The Aces prove that they have a heart of a champion. Respect. I changed it to A minus for me. Okay, there we go. Looking at the roster, who stays? Because again, everybody's a free agent. Who stays with the Aces? Jackie Young. I think Jackie stays. I don't see how you don't. Like, they might decide to keep the whole team, see if they can run it back. I'm not sure, but I feel like Jackie is part of the core. Like, Jackie is part of the house that her and Asia are the longest standing Aces on this team. You know what I'm saying? When they turned into the Aces, they drafted Asia. You had KP that was there as the number one draft pick the year before Asia, and then Jackie came in the year after Asia, and then it was those three for a while. KP is no longer there. So you just have Jackie and Asia that has been there since the beginnings of their career. Jackie stays. KB, I think KB's out. I think she's done what she needed. Like, she's rode that wave long enough. I think the Aces love KB. There's obviously some kind of value that they see in her because they kept her. Becky has kept her there, and Natalie has had her there. Their GM. But I think it's time. I think we won't see KB next season. Nalissa, I think she stays. Dana, I think she stays. Chelsea, I hope she stays. Aaliyah Nye, I think they keep Aaliyah. Meg, hot girl Meg. I don't know if we have Meg next season. I don't know. Something feels like I don't think we're gonna see her next season. I don't know. Asia definitely is there. Like, she might shop around free agency. She ain't going nowhere. Asia is the Aces. Unless something drastic happens, Asia's there. Jewel, I think Jewel stays as well. I think CPT is not there. I don't think CPT is there. And I don't think Kia is there. I think, again, I think she did what she made, the contributions that she made to the team. And then, now it's time to move on. So I don't, I think for the most part, we keep most of these players, but the ones I just think KB, Kia, Meg, KB might find herself playing for her old coach, her college coach in Atlanta. So that's something that we could see. I don't know. Again, we got the expansion draft happening. You can only protect so many people. So we may or may not see some of these folks, but if I had my pick, those are the people that I don't think that we will see next season. Becky, I think Becky is there as long as, she wants to be. I think Becky and Asia are a team. I don't know if Becky were to leave. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I think Aces is Asia's team. The Aces is Asia's team. She's been there since the very beginning. I think she wants to retire as an ace. But if some weirdness happens and things ain't right, we could maybe see her going somewhere else. I don't know. But I think Becky is a great coach. I think she works well in that place. I think Mark Davis loves her. I think he's going to try to keep her around as long as possible. There are talks that Becky might be someone that the NBA is looking for to take over a team. There was like rumor that she might take San Antonio when Popovich decided he was going to step down from the team and stuff like that. So I don't know, but I think they have a good group there, a good core there. And if they just continue to, get the right pieces there, they can be dominant for a very long time. I think that. Let's see what you guys had to say. Aces. Oh, DJ says Aces has had a hard time beating the Lynx. Well, in the beginning of the season, I think, but I don't think historically the Aces, I think it was another good team, similar to like how Aces in New York were kind of like battling each other for a while. I mean, the season in 2023, New York was the only team that beat the Aces twice. And if I'm not mistaken, the Lynx was not one of those teams that beat them. They only lost 6 times, 2 times to New York. So the 4 other times, I forget who it was. It escapes my mind now. I know LA was one. I don't think Lynx was one. Atlanta, was it? Damn it. Dallas. No, Dallas was one. LA was one. I can't think of the other 2 that it was, but it wasn't, I don't think it was the Lynx. DJ says Stokes, KB, Jeremy says, I'm happy my Husky Kia got 3 of them things. Yeah, Kia has 3 rings. KB has 3 rings. They contributed how they contributed it. They did what they need to do on their teams, on the team, whatever that is, off the court, on the court. I just think it's time to, for us to move on. Jeremy says they're going to keep Asia, Jackie, Chelsea, and Jewel. Of course, Aaliyah Nye is the only rookie because they got rid of all of them. Dana will stay. KB might stay because she has been the beginning. Because she has been there since the beginning. And Meg, maybe. Yeah, but I think it's time. I think it's time. DJ says Becky, Asia, Jackie, Jewel, Nalissa, Dana, Chelsea, CPT, keepers for me. Nye could stay. Okay, you said keep CPT. The only reason I say I don't know about CPT. I mean, they have her on a training camp contract, right? And they had her, so of course she got pregnant, had her baby. I don't think they could have let her go just because of the whole situation they have with De'Erica. It's just not a smart move to make. So I don't know if they would probably have her on another training camp contract and just see how she is into next season. But also I'm hoping that we can get Camilla over to the Aces. So if we do that, I don't think we need CPT. Not that she's a center or anything, but it's just, we got Asia, we got Liz. I guess we can keep her and then you don't have Meg. It all depends. Jay, do you think this win is an excuse for them not to hire a general manager next season. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I think that the whole not having a general manager thing or letting her go came from the lawsuit that they have with De'Erica. And I just think they haven't found the right person that they wanted yet. I think Nikki Fargas could be the GM and the president or whatever she is. So I mean that can happen, or they can make Becky the GM because they can be coaches are GMs as well. So I don't know. I don't know why we don't have a GM. That's always been kind of a mystery to me. I'm not really sure why we don't have a GM. Very interesting. But I mean, it looks like we've been doing okay without one. But I mean, eventually I think we need to get one for sure. Next, we're going to go to LA. The LA Sparks, my original team. What do we think about LA this season? If I had to give them a grade, I'm gonna give them a C. I'm gonna give them a C because they were right there. They could have made it to the playoffs. They needed some more wins. I think at first they were shaky. Just with dealing with a new coach, a new system, new players. You know, they got KB in there, KP there. Some roles had changed. Some players had been moved around and things like that. So it took them a minute to like get it together. But once they did, they started winning, because the thing is they had great starts. They would have great games and then lose it every time in the fourth quarter. Every single time. They would just play the whole game well, and then in the fourth quarter, everything fell apart. And then they started getting it. Then they started being able to close out games, and we had some great performances from Rakia and Azare with the threes. Again, another player that wasn't shooting threes like that. She became automatic with the threes. De'Erica, who's very quiet, not necessarily the like star on the team, or the big focal point, but she was always solid. She was always there. She was doing well. But KP being there, kind of taking over the star role, handling the ball more, having the ball more, which is why she just wanted to come to LA. So, I mean, I think they did much better than they did last season. Obviously, they were very close to making it to the playoffs. So I give them a C. I think they were another team that maybe people were like unsure of and, didn't know what was going to happen. And I think they had a lot of good wins. They had some crazy losses. That one buzzer beater that Rakia had against New York, that crazy shot that went up. I think we just saw some overall good performances from some players that, again, had improved. And LA has a bright future. Not really sure who stays around, but I think they did pretty well. Tulip says LA gets a C+. They were one game from the playoffs. DJ says Aces survived without a GM. Just pay the players. Right. Give that money to them. Tulip says when Ray and Cam got healthy, they went on a run. Yep. Cam came back. That was another thing that was great this season. Promising signs, just a sign of perimeter defender like Ariel or Slim. Jeremy says Sparks gets a C+. Brinks, Jackson, Plum, Hamby, Stevens are your players to keep. Build a team around them, and the Sparks will be strong. Also keep Fagan and Peely as well. That's something else. Peely got cut from the Minnesota. They ended up picking up, I know we didn't talk about Minnesota yet, but they picked up Sherrod from New York, Jalen Sherrod. cut Peely. Peely, who I figured would get picked up by LA because that coach is her college coach. She knows how to utilize her. Peely knows her system to a T. It just made sense. So hopefully we'll see her. But let's look at the roster. Eagles Brother says LA started the season as a C minus, but get a B minus by the end. Okay, B minus. So looking at the roster, who stays? Shout out to Fagan. Shout out to Sanaya Fagan. South Carolina got drafted. Wasn't playing as much. Ended up playing a little bit more by the end of the season. Definitely had some monster blocks. I love to watch her play. I think she did very well as a rookie this season with the amount of time that she had to play. I was surprised when they started cutting people. I didn't know like where they were going to go with who they were going to keep. And they kept cutting people, kept moving people around, and Sanaya Fagan is still right there. So I think she sees something in Fagan, and I think she stays. I think she's going to be there. Rakia. There were rumors about Rakia maybe not staying with the Sparks. Maybe being traded to another team with a system that works for her, because that coach typically doesn't believe in midi shots. She is high percentage post shots, or you take threes, because threes are more than twos. And if you're going to take a two, you need to take a two where you know you're going to make it, which is closer to the basket versus shooting a long two that could have been a three, if that makes sense to y'all. I saw a documentary on YouTube about her team. What was the name of it? I can't remember, but it featured Utah, LSU, South Carolina, and Florida Gulf Coast, and UCLA. Yeah. It was like 3 or 4 episodes of this documentary. And it was I think it was by the NCAA. I'm not sure who it was, but I think it's on their page. Can't remember the name of it. Something grows, something, I can't remember. But they went behind the scenes of Utah, and that's what she was showing her chart, how they get points based off, like when you're in practice, you get points for shooting in the right spots. You get points taken away if you take shots in that restricted area, which is that mid-range area. So I say all that to say we really weren't sure where Rakia how she would fit in there. So I don't know. I think I like her on LA. Think she can come back. But if I see her on another team, I won't be surprised. But Rakia is great. Dearica Hamby, I think she stays. KP, she stays. Ray Burrell, I think she stays. Sarah Ashley Barker, I don't know. I don't know if they keep her. That's up in the air. Julie Alleman, she had a great run of some games. I think they may keep her. Cam Brink, of course, I think is there. Azare, I think she's there. Peely, I think she's there. Emma Cannon, I don't know about Emma Cannon. I'm not sure. And Julie Van Loo, I'm not sure about her either. She was waived from the Valks, and then LA picked her up. But she wasn't utilized as much. I think Julie Alleman started getting really hot. They didn't really have a use for Julie as much. So I'm not sure if she stays next year. But we shall see about that. Let me see what y'all are saying. DJ says, boil some ginger tea, take it so you feel better. It's allergies, and now it's like, what do you call it? Nasal drip, post-nasal drip. So it's making my throat itchy, but I drink a ginger, echinacea ginger and lemon tea at night. So I usually drink it every night. It's just the air is going. I'm talking a lot, so it's like causing my throat to be dry. So sorry for all the coughing and clearing my throat. I'm trying to mute when I feel one coming on. So sorry about y'all's ears if y'all hearing me do that a lot. Eagles brother says LA can't keep Cameron Hamby and Stevens next year, knowing they play the same position. They drafted Cameron overall. Oh, that's interesting. They can't keep all three of them. Huh. So who do you think goes? Cam stays, right? I think Hamby stays. I think Stevens did great for them because Stevens stretched the floor. I don't know. That's very interesting. Very interesting, Eagles brothers. Tulip says 80 minutes for three players can be shared easily. They need to replace Van Loo with a good defender like Atkins or Slim. Hey, Great Benefactor is here. What's going on? How you doing? While y'all at it, y'all give me the likes, share, comment, all that good stuff. Thumbs up is free and easy. Now we're going to Minnesota. Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota. They get A plus. I mean, I don't really know what else to give them because they started off strong, although they failed in the playoffs. They were dominant the whole time. They never lost the number one spot the whole entire season. Even through injuries, even through not having Fee. The season, they get an A plus. They never fail. They were dominant. They had that 10-0, 12-0. I can't remember what they started. 10-12-0 start. They were running through teams left and right. They beat my team by 53 points. We already know how that went down. I just felt like they were very dominant. They picked up right where they left off last season. And I mean, for the most part, they were favored to go ahead and take that championship away from New York. Who knew they would not make it to the finals? Who knew that Phoenix would end up beating them? And then Phoenix gets swept by Vegas, which is crazy. But I would have to give Lynx an A plus for the season. DJ says, it's all good. Just want you to feel better. Thank you. I'm trying. It's been hard for me with these allergies. Jeremy says that Hamby is a power forward, Brink starts, and Stevens is a backup. Jeremy says, I give Lynx a B. They had a great season, but the goal was not accomplished. Phoenix series was a disappointment. I would give my squad a B. I say for the regular season, though, I don't want to. Yes, playoffs are considered in there, but I don't think them coming up short should take away from the fact that they had a dominant season. Yes, the end of the season, you want to win the championship. That's why I don't give them an A plus. But I think their season was very dominant. I think they earned their number one spot. They kept that number one spot the whole time. So that's why I give them an A. Tulip says Lynx get a B minus, good regular season, bad postseason. Unlucky Fee injury. Eagles brother says Minnesota gets an A minus. Yeah, overall, I mean, they did that trade. They got Dejanay in there. That was going well for a while. You got defense from her, and some overall good play. Like I said, they cut Peely. They got Sherrod in there. I think they picked Sherrod because she played in New York, and New York was the winner last season. So I think they got her for some inside information. I don't know, but I just think that. They ended up trading out Diamond Miller, who went to Dallas. It was good performances from the stud buds. Courtney Williams was carrying that team a lot of times. Then Letitia Heidemann coming off the bench, doing crazy stuff off the bench, breaking records, setting records. I thought they did well. K-Mac was a little streaky this season, but she did enough to help keep them in the game. I think, what's her name? Jessica Shepard was a big help once Fee was out. She was able to step in and help them out. So I think they had an overall good season. Eagles brother says Stud Buds gets an A++. Love their All-Star stream. Yeah, All-Star was amazing. I didn't even talk about All-Star. All-Star was for me, I enjoyed the game, but the festivities that we got to see off the court was like probably the highlight of the season for me, outside of the Aces winning the championship. Let's get into the roster. So, who do we see staying? Jalen Sherrod. I don't think she stays. I don't think they keep her. Letitia Heidemann, I think she stays. Dejanay, I think she's there. Bridget Carlton, I see her staying. Anastasia Kusu, I don't know. I don't think that Cheryl really utilizes her rookies. Not a lot. So it's kind of a toss-up. Even if she keeps her, like, is she going to utilize her a lot? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Alana Smith, I think she stays. Courtney, I think she stays. Jessica Shepard, I think she stays. Cameron Taylor, I didn't see her play a lot. So I don't know if she's someone that stays or is there. Kayla McBride, I think she stays. Fee, of course, that's her team. She stays. And Kalundakova. I heard her name sometimes during the games. She a great role player. I don't know if they keep her. I don't know if she stays on that team. I think, again, this is another team where they keep the core. They keep some good players on that team surrounding the main core, but we might see some of the other players, bench players, maybe get replaced. We shall see about that. Tulip says, Jay, remember only 6 players can be protected from the expansion draft. A lot of these players will get picked up by 2 new teams. Yeah, I said I wasn't really considering. I'm not going to try to do the math and consider expansion drafts. This was just me off just my thoughts. I don't want to I don't want to do a deep dive into the math of keeping 6 or 5 players and who can go wherever. I'm just off the top of my head. That's who I'm saying. We know it might be different once it's I can't even say expansion draft once that happens. So yeah, I'm not really considering that. So don't take my word for like the end all be all. Lynx and Liberty will lose some big pieces. Jeremy says the offseason is a major one with expansion draft and free agency. Yep. Sorry. We got to reload. Man, y'all comments are, we got to reload for a chance next year. Tulip says big players like Nog, Cloud, Shepard, etc. could get picked up. Jeremy says the goal is to keep Dejanay, Stud Buds. I would love to keep both. But if one is lost, then okay, but I love them to stay. Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Aces are lucky. Their 6 protections are easy. J.O., Asia, Chelsea, Jewel Lloyd, Dana, and Nye. Who's next? We have Phoenix Mercury. Phoenix Mercury is next. Phoenix was a team I really wasn't sure where they were going to stand. They did have their coach returning, so they had that going for them. At least they had some continuity, but they were also having the addition of Alyssa Thomas and Satu. We saw them. A lot of their team left. BG left. DT retired. Sophie Cunningham went to Indiana. So they were kind of like in a rebuild as well. So really wasn't sure where they would go, but they proved that they could get far. They were another team that was on the winning side of the season. AT being a point forward was really working. I just didn't know how AT, Kalia Copper, and Satu would play together. You also had Natasha Mack there. I just didn't know how that would work out, but they made it work for a majority of the season. I mean, you had Sammy Whitcomb coming out, shooting threes. They were a team that was dangerous because no lead was safe with them. Even if you had them down, it would take a matter of a couple minutes for them to just shoot threes, shoot lights out. And now they're not only in the game, but they're winning. They had some big comebacks in the season. I just think overall it probably wasn't as sustainable, but also we had injuries as well, right? So I think their downfall in the playoffs was the lack of experience and the lack of chemistry as it pertains to playing time together. I think that was kind of what was said of New York in 2023, because they had just came together and they hadn't played a full season together yet. So it was kind of hard going up against a team that had a solid foundation that had been playing together for years. And I think that same thing happened to them this season, going into the playoffs when you're playing against a team like the Aces, who the coach has been there for 4 years. Asia and Jackie have been playing together for 7 years. Jackie, Asia, Chelsea have been playing together for 5 or 6 years, somewhere around there. Jewel Lloyd is, found her spot. Even though she hadn't been playing with them, they already had like a foundation set. So those other pieces coming in were just, they knew where to put them and to utilize them. And it came together at the right time because they didn't have as much chemistry to build as some of the other teams. And then they have experience playing in the finals and getting rings and stuff like that. So I think it kind of just fell apart in certain ways where the Aces were able to capitalize on that. But I think overall, I would give Phoenix a B on the season. I think they did great. They weren't in danger really of falling out. They did better than I thought they would do. I don't remember my rankings when I first started. I know I was not correct. I think I put the Aces at number 3. I think I did Minnesota number 1, New York number 2, Aces number 3. I think I put Indiana at 5. I put freaking Chicago at 6. I think I ended up putting Seattle at 4 just because of where I had placed everybody else. I think Dallas, LA, Valks, and I forgot somebody else, whoever else was like bottom teams. But I didn't know about Phoenix. I didn't know where I wanted to put Phoenix, and I think they did. I think they did great this season. Eagles Brother says Phoenix gets an A-. Great playoffs, disappointing finals, but much props to them with only returning 2 players. Okay. Tulip says Phoenix gets an A. They had low expectations, yet made it all the way to the finals. Okay. Jeremy also says Phoenix gets an A-. Alyssa was an engine all season, keeping them top 4, and they were successful in the playoffs. In the finals, they didn't play with the same hunger in their previous 2 series. I can accept that. Let's look at the roster, see who we think is staying. Who is staying? Because everybody's a free agent. And I'm not looking at expansions, but does Satu stay? That's up in the air. I don't know if Satu stays. I'm not sure about that. Lexi Hale, does she stay? Possibly. Kalia Copper. I think Ka stays. Natasha Mack. I'm not sure about Natasha Mack. I think Monique Akoa Makani, although she wasn't great, she's a rookie, so she didn't have a lot of experience in the playoffs. She, I think she had a better season than she did, a regular season than she did as far as the finals are concerned, but I think they keep her. Lay down. Lotska, didn't see her play a whole lot near the end. Dewana Bonner came in and gave a spark. Does she stay? Because I think she's teetering on retirement, so I don't know if she stays another year. Kalani Brown, they don't utilize her. I don't think she's there next season. I don't think she is. Kiana Williams, I don't know about her. Catherine Westbelt, I think she stays. Alyssa Thomas, I think she stays. Sammy Wickham, I think she stays. I think they got to figure out what they're going to do with their core. If they can keep the big three, maybe, so they can have some more time playing together, get some more chemistry going. But I'm not sure what they're going to do. That's kind of up in the air. Why Satu is and where should she go? I don't know where she should go. Like I said, everything is up in the air. Who knows where she would go? I mean, if Chicago wasn't such a trash box, I would love to have her in Chicago. But I mean, that organization, I don't mean the team. I don't mean like the players. I mean the team, the organization. Like, people don't want to go there to play. So a lot of the good players we could have, we're probably not going to be able to get. But I don't know. Does she go back to Dallas? Probably not. Does she go to Seattle? Does she go to one of the new teams? I don't know. Eagles brother says Satu or Sabali is risky because she is an injury risk, having 2 major injuries in the past 2 seasons. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, she did, huh? Jeremy says, excuse me, why does Satu leave, you think? And where does she go next? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm just thinking, I don't know. I think a lot of people came to teams this year as an experiment because they could. I think a lot of players knew, or a lot of players did know, this is their last contract season, right? They're free to do whatever they want. So they took these opportunities to sign these 1-year contracts to go play with these different teams. And I don't think they went there. I don't think everybody went to these teams to stay there. I think they went there just to see, okay, how do I feel about this? How do I like this coach? Do I like this playing style? What can they offer me? What's my potential here? I don't think a lot of these players went there saying, I'm definitely staying in Indiana, or I'm definitely staying with Phoenix, or I'm definitely going to stay at LA, whatever. I think they had the opportunity to jump ship and to go wherever they want and sign these 1-year contracts. And we don't know. So that's why I don't think it's anything. I don't know if it's a permanent move, because no one had any pressure to stay with these teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all signed 1-year contracts, these ones that left their other teams. So it's like a no risk situation. If I go to this team, I like it, I might, see what free agency brings me and I'll stay. Or if I don't want to stay, I don't have to. I signed a 1-year contract. It's no big deal. Like, maybe if they get the right pieces, I'll stay. If they don't, I can leave. So that's why I say that. Eagles brother says Sabali could join her sister in New York. Yep, she could. Or her sister could join her. Again, it's a free-for-all right now. Our last team is Seattle. Seattle Storm, y'all. Eagles brothers, tell me what you think. What grade do we give Seattle Storm? That was a team I wasn't really sure what they would do this season. They were getting the number one. They were getting Dominique Malonga from France, who was seen as a very high potential player. You had NECA back. You had Skylar there. You had Gabby coming back. Ezzy was there. You added Erica Wheeler. You added Tiffany Mitchell. So I didn't really know what I was going to get from Seattle. But Seattle was middle of the pack most of the year. Now, they did kind of have a stretch where they fell down because they were actually playing for the last spot in the playoffs along with LA. And it came down to, them winning their final games, which solidified their spot in the playoffs. So they started off pretty okay. They ended where they were fighting for their lives to stay in the playoffs as the 8th seed. And, they ended up being not 8th. They ended up being 7th. They ended up being 7th because they played the Aces. And Aces were number 2. But they were fighting for their lives to make it into the playoffs. So, what? I see a D. Jeremy says Seattle gets a D plus. Eagles brother says Seattle gets an A plus 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 plus. Just kidding. We get a B minus. Can't have that much talent and not win a playoff series, but we have a young key pieces in Dom to develop and build around in the future. Tulip says Seattle gets a C minus for All-Stars and you barely make the playoffs and lose in the first round. Yikes. I would give Seattle a probably a C plus, somewhere between the C plus and the B minus, because they had some very bright spots this season. Skylar was amazing to watch. such a joy to watch when she gets going, and ain't nothing you can do. You just gotta watch her just go off. NECA was going crazy in a lot of games. Dom, we saw her get better every single game and kind of get used to the way, you play the game here. Get used to like the physicality of the league and stuff like that. So it was good to see like the progression of them. But again, they were also dealing with some things there, and they lost their coach. She was also let go, which was people kept talking about it, but I didn't know if it was going to really happen. It was kind of sad that they lost her, but they were also saying like she just didn't get them to where they needed to get to in X amount of years. So we don't have her. Jeremy says too much dysfunction, coaching change. Players complained to be traded and literally was given Las Vegas the series, but Aces didn't step on their neck like they were supposed to. Yeah, they started off with Alicia Clark, who had left Vegas, and then Alicia got a trade to go to Washington, which brought Brittany Sykes over. That was interesting to have Brittany Sykes and Erica Wheeler both there. Tulip says Seattle got worse this year. Can't be a high grade. Tulip says they even traded first rounder for Slim just got worse. Eagles brother says Gabby stays, NECA stays, Skylar not sure, Ezzy may leave, Sykes leaves. Okay. While we're at it, let's look at it then. I don't know why this keeps switching. Oh, I know. I see why. Let me get that off of there. So let's look at the roster. So NECA stays, I believe. Yes. Skylar. Well, now here's the thing. NECA and Skylar were both close to their coach. So if Quinn gets another job in the W, do they go where she is or do they stay in Seattle? I mean, that's to me, that's kind of an X factor. We don't know. So it's kind of up in the air, but we don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to say Nneka stays, but it's a possibility she might leave if she wants to go play for Noelle Quinn somewhere else. Same thing with Skylar. Gabby, I think Nneka, Skylar, Gabby stay. Zaya, I don't know if they keep Zaya. Lexi Brown. Lexi Brown is in a contract. So she's there, which is crazy. Unless she gets traded, she's there. I did say Kalani Brown would not be in Phoenix, but Kalani is also in a contract. So, of course, they can buy her contract out or whatever, waiver or trader. So she may not end up being in Phoenix, but her and Lexi are like still in contract. So, but that don't mean they can't be traded. So I don't know if I see Lexi on Seattle, even though she left, she got traded from LA to Seattle. I don't think they, she said in her exit interview, they didn't really utilize her the way that she wants to. She says she's healthy. She feels good. She doesn't really understand why she wasn't utilized. So, I mean, that doesn't make me feel like she was super happy about her role there. So she might be looking to be somewhere else. Ezzy, I think Ezzy may stay, maybe not. Again, she might, you have the expansion draft and you have free agency, so she might go somewhere else. Dom is there. I like Erica Wheeler on Seattle more than I like Sykes there. So I think Erica stays. I think Sykes goes. I think Tiffany Mitchell maybe is not there next season. Katie Lou, we know she had an injury. She won't be playing next season. And Mackenzie Holmes, I don't really see her being there either next season. So that's the team that's there. It's just that is very much up in the air because we don't know what they're going to do with the coaching situation. And they may get a coach that Nneka and Skylar and Gabby or whoever just don't gel with, and they don't want to be there. They might be demanding trades left and right. Or not demanding trades, just not staying. Jeremy says Gabby and Nneka stay. Skylar, I don't know. Ezzy and Slim, nope. Plus, I'm interested in how Nika Mule, I forgot about her, and Jordan Hurston get implemented into the squad as a young core with Malonga. I forgot about them. Yeah, you're right about that. Eagles brother says Lexi going to get traded for a bag of chips. She don't seem happy there, and I don't know about the bag of chips, but yes, I agree. She may not. She might get traded. Jonathan says, "What's up? Hey, what's going on, Jonathan?" But yeah, that's the team. So we do know that Portland and hold on, what is that? Portland and Toronto are going to be the two new teams. Again, everything is up in the air. We don't know what is going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. We're just kind of waiting to see what they're going to do with this CBA. Right now, it is not looking great. The deadline is October 31st. I think that's going to be extended. We're getting to the point where Adam Silver is commenting on the situation. That's Kathy's boss, so that's never great. We already know the whole situation with Fee, and Kathy is not great. A lot of players have stood with Fee. If you guys watched the finals, you saw when Kathy tried to give that award to Asia. I mean, she graciously took it, but she kind of like paid Kathy dust. Like she took the award and put it up in the air and didn't really look Kathy's way. Didn't really acknowledge her as much. Kathy got that side hug in. And Asia went about her business, not in a disrespectful way, but I think in a way that shows like, you're here as a commissioner, but, we not happy with you as players. So I'm going to take this award. I'm not going to cause a scene, but I'm going to celebrate with my team. And that's all you get is some of this shoulder. So I think that it's a lot. We about to see a lot of fireworks. Hopefully the ladies get what they want. I think it's not going to be a good thing to delay the season or not have a season. I think it's going to be catastrophic for, I wouldn't say the league itself, but Kathy, whatever they're holding out for, whatever they don't want to give the players, I don't think it's worth not having a season for. Just give those players what they want so you can have this season. Women's basketball is continuing to be popular. It's entertaining. More and more viewers are watching. Attendance is up. You have momentum to carry this thing into higher heights, and you don't want to stifle that because you don't want to give the players, the people that's actually playing in the game, you don't want to give them what they deserve. That you're trying to still hold pieces of the pie. You're being really, really greedy. And not paying these players and not giving them what they want, and maybe dangling the salary around, but not giving them what they really want, which is revenue share, because as the league grows, they should be growing as well as far as their pay. And if you're just going to give them a lump sum payment and say this is what your pay is, and then the next 4 or 5 years as we're growing, your pay stays here, because you're dangling a carrot in their face. No, that's, the rumored amount sounds big. Yeah, you're jumping up to, $800,000, $700,000. But if in 3 years, with the way that the league is growing, you're making all this money, and I should be now paid millions of dollars, or maybe even $1 million or something like that, but you won't do it because we made the agreement that I'm getting this amount. No, I want to grow as the league grows. So yeah, if 800 is what I get now, I want it so when you start making millions and millions and millions of dollars, that I'm up in there somewhere too. And they don't want to do that. So I think that Kathy just needs to suck it up. Adam, Kathy, ownership, whoever that is that's pulling those strings, they need to give them what they want. Because if you don't have a season, ABC is going to be pissed at you. ESPN is going to be pissed at you. Disney is going to be pissed at you. Ion is going to be pissed at you. USA is going to be pissed at you because they gave you this money to give a product, to present a product, and you ain't got no product to give up because you want to be stubborn. So give them what they want. Keep the momentum going. You're going to get more in return. Instead of being greedy now, think about what you're going to get as you continue to go, and don't stop the momentum. Because once you lose that, it's going to be so hard to get that back. You know what I'm saying? You signed that media deal, and now you ain't got nothing to show for it because ain't nobody playing. So all that space that they bought up, all that money that they gave you for all these games they wanted to televise, and you ain't got no games to televise. You're going to lose the trust of all those people that gave you money. And then guess what? They want their money back. And then you're going to be bankrupt. So Kathy, Adam, whoever, give these ladies what they want. They're not asking for the world. Give them their revenue share. Give them the pay that they deserve. Give them something, a livable wage as far as what a professional player should play. And then you don't have to worry about them going overseas. You don't have to worry about them playing in Unrivaled or Athletes Unlimited because they need the money. Then you can start to have whatever, contracts and things in place, time off bonuses and all that other stuff you can offer these players. But you cannot underpay these players and then try to throw your weight around and tell them what they can and cannot do in their off season. That doesn't work either. So they got some soul searching to do on that side. And I think the players have the leverage. They know what they're worth. They know what they have. They know as they're getting the Jujus in, the Flages in, the Hannah Hidalgos in, the Lauren Betts in, all these players that are coming in this year, next year, the year after that, they know they're going to continue to bring their fans, to bring more eyes, to bring more visibility, and it's going to continue to grow. They know that. So the players have the leverage. It's up to Kathy if she wants to and Adam or whoever not give in, but just give them what they're worth and move on. Let's go. Let's all make some money. Stop being greedy. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I didn't mean to get up on a soapbox, but just give them what they deserve. Like, y'all been underpaying these ladies for so long, and then got the nerve to have a prioritization contract to say you better be here on time or you don't get to play in the league. Gabby said, bet I won't play in the league. They pay me more over there. People want to play in the W because it's the WNBA. It's the pinnacle of playing basketball in the States. You know what I'm saying? They know the potential that it has. So yeah, kids, little girls today grow up wanting to play in the W. They don't want to have to go overseas, but if I make more money in college, what leverage do you think you have over me when I come there making peanuts? Flage and them are coming in already millionaires. I don't think Kathy and them are thinking that. I think they're still thinking old school. Like they can dangle, again, that little carrot in front of them. They're supposed to be thankful and grateful that they have that. They can make more money not playing in the W. You know what I'm saying? Like there's options out there and they have money. They have money already. So yeah, the leverage that Kathy and them think they don't have that. So I think they just need to wrap it up. Give these ladies what they want, and let's enjoy 2026 season. Let's do that. Let's have fun with the free agency. Let's have fun with these expansion drafts. Let's have a good season and then welcome in Cleveland next and whoever else, Philly or whatever other teams we get. Let's do that and stop playing around. Let me see. Am I going to do college women's basketball this year? Of course I am. When the season starts, y'all know I'm going to be right here talking NCAA women's college basketball. Can't wait to see my girls play. Eagles brother says at least the Storm had me have an established memory and having a game in Canada that I was able to go to in a great time. So many W fans up there. Good. I think Toronto will have a good turnout. I don't know if they'll have the fans like Golden State, but I think they'll be great. Jeremy says, happy that a former Husky, Ashley Battle, is the vice president for Portland Fire. Yeah, I heard that. Eagles brother says, I nominate JSpot as a new commissioner and your dogs as the CEOs. We might make some better decisions. I don't know. Tulip says, run those likes up. Tulip says, Kathy is a clown. Jeremy says Gabby is arguably the best player in France. She's a superstar over there. Correction, she's the best. She is the best in France. Okay. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Overall, it was a pretty good season. It didn't turn out the way that I wanted to. I wanted both my teams to, take it far, but the Aces definitely made my season. Like they definitely did their thing. I was not expecting them to take it all away and win the championship, and they did. So I'm very happy about that. I felt good watching this season. Like I said, a certain fan base wasn't as prevalent, so that was great. I'm looking forward to college basketball. I'm looking forward to Unrivaled. I'm looking forward to Athletes Unlimited. I'm here. So even though I won't be covering W because the season's over, I am going to be covering South Carolina, LSU, Notre Dame. And like I said, any other team I get to catch. We'll be talking NCAA women's basketball here. We'll be covering, Sess and I have On the Court with Jay and Sess that we'll be covering Unrivaled when that starts. I'll be also covering Athletes Unlimited, the games that I get to see, and then we'll be hopefully ready for the W again. So, had a great season. Zah says, you still going strong? I am, but I'm about to end it. It's 10 o'clock. I didn't even eat dinner yet. I just got done watching Sonic 3 with my little nephews. Jeremy said it was a better season than last year. Definitely demonstrated what real fans like us have been saying about one particular player. Yeah. Great season. I can't wait to see what happens next season with, my favorite players. I think Asia's still going to dominate. Angel's going to continue to get better. Camilla's going to continue to get better. Anissa, I hope she gets more playing time. She continues to get better. The new rookies coming in, that's going to be great to see. And I think the league is in really good hands with the youth that we have here, along with the vets. It's a good mix. It's a good time for women's basketball right now. So I hope they continue to grow, and things are great. Eagles Brother says, I heard Kathy offered 850 Supermax players want around $1 million. I say give them that $1 million. I say give them what they want. Give them what they want and be fair about it. Stop being greedy, or you're going to lose everything. That's what I say. All right, y'all. That's about it. That's all I have. Catch me. I don't know if I'll have a show next week, because it's kind of like a break in between the W and NCAA. But if there's some news or some things going on, I'll definitely jump in here. Of course, I'll still have my random lives from my living room or my kitchen or my car. We'll still talk basketball, of course. Now time for college hoops. Go South Carolina and my University of Washington Huskies. Zah says, I saw y'all in the chat speaking on Seattle. Y'all do know they got eliminated by the champs in a deciding game 3 by 1 point, right? Yeah. But a win is a win and a loss is a loss. Eagles Brother says, thank you for a fun night. Thank y'all for hanging with me. Jeremy says, peace, Jay. Great live. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging with me for 3 hours. I didn't expect to talk this long, but as always, y'all make it so much fun. Any breaking news, anything happening, just a little bit of news. Angel Reese. Angel will be walking in the Victoria's Secret show tomorrow on the 15th. I think it's going to air on TV. Usually the Victoria's Secret's fashion show airs on TV, so we'll see her there. She also has her Charm Cities dropping on the 26th. Those are the purple AR ones. I'm still waiting to get my black and white ones. My receipts ready. I haven't gotten those yet. Asia's still dropping shoes every week. It's a new colorway. What else is going on around the league? I think that's it so far. So y'all take care. Thank y'all for hanging with me. Comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see y'all later. All right. Peace out.